Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with River Brown, Angel Velez, and Joe Dehls. And this is now episode 464. In this episode, we're going to do a 2021 NBA redraft, rank our top 10 duos in the NBA, and give our free agency predictions for the NFL for the best available free agents. Fellas, how are we doing?
Gentlemen, he earned it. We're here. Had to break it out, especially for the fact that last night, although it ended in a way that, as basketball fans, we didn't love. Prayers for Jalen Brunson. Hopefully he's okay. He was put on a masterclass, but I'll tell you who else put on a masterclass. Number 77 and number 23. What does that equal? 100, baby. We're coming for it all. It was magic. It was magic. Luka Doncic was special last night. LeBron James, when it mattered most, was special. But I think what matters most to me more than all of that is that Gabe Vincent is back. And when I speak about my Lakers, damn, you guys better fucking listen. It was amazing. Saturday, get ready.
I'm excited.
Get ready because
I see the gear right now.
This man's been
we didn't even do this on purpose.
No,
Got the
complete
Celtics
accident.
gear,
Complete accident.
LA gear.
No, but he's been talking. Who
Apparently,
guys really played?
he had excuses in the car. Sam Hauser's not going to play.
Drew Holiday, questionable.
They're gassed.
We all know the Lakers are winning this Saturday.
Talk.
It's Luka Doncic's revenge game against
Yo,
the Celtics.
Joel, how did
talking
Luka's
about?
defense look last night?
Well, he had a steal in the fourth quarter. Late in the fourth quarter, his activity was on a different level.
Got up out of your chair and started screaming.
Come on,
Not
Luka.
because you were mad.
Bring it
because
home,
you were playing
Luka.
the Knicks.
It's instinctual. It's instinctual.
Oh, my bad, bro.
You know,
To root for-
I've watched almost every single Luka game for the past couple of years. You know, when he does good, I do
Rip,
good.
how crazy was that?
What are you talking about?
How crazy was that?
That shot me crying,
I'll be
bro.
honest, the minute he got the steal, I completely forgot who we were playing. I knew Joel and I were going to dab.
And then, you know, Jalen Brunson hit the shot after that. Man, the Knicks,
You know what's
they
funny?
can't beat anybody.
It boggles my mind to watch all of it because he was more excited when Luka did things as opposed to the Knicks. Like, it was evident who he wanted to win, but he kept trying to, no, I want the Knicks to win. Because he wasn't mad when the Knicks, you know, usually when the Knicks lose, he texts, he gets pissed off and he'll be like, fuck, defense, like shit like that, right?
He texted when the Knicks lose.
No.
No, he texts like, I think it was, he texts when they played the Warriors.
primetime games, I always
Yeah, prime
text.
time, he locks in, he'll text,
Yeah.
fuck. When Dallas beat the Knicks, you didn't see a text all night. He was cool, he was chilling. He's like,
It's a conflict of interest right there.
right, player
know,
versus favorite team.
You know,
I get
Where
it.
does
Because
Luka rank amongst your
People you love.
Compare him to Harden. Compare him to Mahomes. Where is he ranked?
Compare him to Kobe.
Like Harden Prime.
Kobe.
he's right there with
Harden
Kobe
Prime.
Bryant of the world. He is honestly, like, I don't rank them based on NFL and NBA. It's just NFL, Mahomes is number one, and then NBA, Luka's number one. They're both pretty similar to
What
me.
about him or Harden?
Prime Harden.
Oh,
too.
right now it's pretty easy.
No, Prime
Oh,
Harden.
Prime Harden.
Yeah, Prime
Prime Harden was a different level of investment that I had.
He
Yeah.
had the beard on and shit.
Yeah.
He did,
at the
yeah.
game.
I love James Harden and his new sneakers. I love this new sneakers he has, the Volume 9s. They kind of like have like a swirly texture on
Harden,
them.
you're saying?
Yes,
Yeah, they're
I
incredible.
don't like wear basketball shoes like that no more, but I like his new sneakers. They always used to look not
Very-
that good.
Compare Tatum's number one.
Yeah, for a reason.
They're ugly. So are Luka's though. Every Jordan brand shoe is ugly.
You know,
Tatum's are fine.
I was going to say the most...
I feel like Tatum's is more or less renowned as a positive Jordan shoe.
It might be. I just think that every single Jordan brand shoe,
Outside of Jordan,
nobody
not that
cares
good.
about. Like Zion, you know, did you know that Zion had
I did.
was with Jordan?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zion's, the Lukas, the Tatums. Back then it was the Melos, the CP3s.
The Melos.
CP3s were cool
The
too.
Melos had a moment.
Melos
Yeah.
had... It was like almost Concord with
Yeah,
the
the Melos,
UNC.
everybody was like, we got
Baby
something here.
blue.
I think the Mellow ones was the best.
Yeah.
That's when
I did
that's
have
like
a
the
pair of those.
yeah. The Mellow ones were outstanding. The CP3s, he has some low top ones that were really
People used to
his
try to
best
put
shoe.
that shit on with Melos. Like,
Oh,
really put on
yeah.
the fit and then back out the Melos.
Because you were wearing... Carmelo's jersey was doing platinum numbers in the streets.
Yeah, it's just, you know, I get invested
The
into
Nuggets
some of these
won.
players before they make it to the league. Like Luka, I wanted the Knicks to tank for Luka the year before he came into the draft because we had Kristaps Porzingis. So, you know, I was like, okay, how cool would it be with Kristaps and Luka on the same team? And that ended up happening in Dallas, not in New York. But I wanted us to tank for him. And then I also wanted us to tank for Cade Cunningham the year that Julius Randle led us to the playoffs. And, you know, that was like an unexpected surprise.
And
but
then you wanted
I'd
to
rather
tank for Zion.
Yes.
You know, we see how that turned out.
Stop
We
trying
did
to
tank. We did tank for Zion.
My bad. Facts. You did.
It
Ended up with
worked. We
RJ.
just ended up with RJ Barrett.
Damn.
Hey, low-key Star J, man.
It wasn't bad.
That's
Yeah. No, it wasn't bad. And I like the RJ era. The RJ era at first, he was like the only thing that we had going for the
some moments.
fan base.
He definitely has some moments.
Yeah, that's
early
why
in his career.
the entire fan base was so attached to him, because when we drafted him, that was our highest draft pick since Patrick Ewing. And he had an interview with Spike Lee, and he's talking about how he wants to bring the Knicks back, and you're buying into like the top 3 hype and what he could do.
That's how I feel about Aaron Glenn right now.
Yeah, I understand you. And I think RJ maybe could have got there if Julius Randle didn't break out. Because Julius Randle breaking out, it like took that opportunity away from RJ. RJ never got to be like the number 1 guy. And dating back to his play style in Montverde in college, he was always with the ball. So, you know, you're asking him to now play off the ball. That's not his role.
I was going to say, even in Duke, I remember him playing on ball a ton. He was great.
Based on how they've played this season, Scotty Barnes or RJ Barrett, you don't think it's a conversation? The
still taking
Raptors just
Scotty.
move forward with Scotty Barnes?
Absolutely move forward with Scotty Barnes.
Yo, bro.
If you're looking to have some fun while watching NBA games, maybe you're into hockey, watching hockey games, there's no better place to do it than Prize Picks.
Prize Picks, man. It's all about the versatility on the app. The app is easy to use, and I've been winning a lot of money on it. I won't lie to you.
Yeah, come on. I'm watching my Lakers. I'm watching Luka Doncic every single night. Damn near flirting with a triple-double. It's got to be something I can cash in on. I'm going to go to Prize Picks.
And the Luka Doncic stuff, I mean, because at first he wasn't playing the best with the Lakers, you know that his points always weren't the most, so you were able to capitalize on that. You know, has some winnings on there the past couple of games. He's having another great game. If you want to have some fun while doing it responsibly, you can go to Prize Picks, and also it helps support the podcast. And use code PAS and play $5 to get $50. That's code PAS. Play $5 to get $50 for new users. Play responsibly. We had a technical difficulty.
We is nuts.
Mike is now back.
This guy Dehls.
First of all,
We're a team. Everything is we.
acting like it was my fault when I
don't
just
know, it's
sat here and it was
it's
just messed
like-
up.
It's just your mic over. It's like
it is low-key.
your mic on the virtual, your mic here.
my
Like
God.
it's just your mic.
Ah, you're cooking.
It's just always
No, I'm
that.
sick that TikTok came out that way because it sounded fine in the recording
Sounded
when
so
we
fine.
were interviewing
Sounded
him.
so
It sounded fine.
I listened
that sucked.
to the clip when I posted it on IG. I'm like, ooh, this is kind of loud.
Yeah, I was sick.
It's kind of loud.
Shit hurt.
So back to the question. Before we get to the question, so today, Breakfast Ball posted us.
Facts.
Shout out
The
to
facility.
FS1.
Yeah, and FS1 also, they posted our clip and gave, I think 2 of the shows gave us credit, but neither here or there. And Nightcap also used our clip.
But didn't give us credit.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks. What would you say?
Tom Hanks.
Tom Stakes, he's like
Tom
an Eagles
Stakes.
fan.
Unfortunately, I don't know him. Never interacted before. He's dead to me.
Damn.
It's not his fault. It's not his
Is
fault.
he a big Eagles account?
Because he didn't credit us and
yeah,
his
he
shit.
didn't. You're right.
He didn't. No,
This is what's
so
wrong with news
that's
people.
why
Bunch
they
of
took
non-credited-ass
his
niggas.
clip and it was like, yo, it might just be his clip, you know, because he didn't credit us.
They're not
sure.
doing any research. They're
Wait, was
taking
he-
that and running.
Was he the guy that said he went on to a podcast called Pick a Side?
Yeah, it might have been him.
All right, so it kind of gave us credit indirectly,
He never
whether
came
we
up
like
with
it or not. Huh?
No, he's saying
He's
the
saying
clip is
Slade
from.
came on here.
Oh.
Yeah, he was like he went on Pick a Side and definitely picked a side.
Yeah.
Nah, it's funny. Nice. It was a nice little caption. But now, yeah, you know, it made the rounds. First Take was too busy with the Stephen A. Smith and LeBron
debacle.
beef that went on.
That was
Stephen
annoying.
A. Smith, his tweet was hilarious, saying, I wasn't going to address this, but now I got to address it. Like, no, you don't. You could have just pretended that tweet never existed. That
He
video
definitely
didn't
had to
exist.
address it.
He had to address
did-
it
no,
to
I
make
know,
sure
but
people
was
didn't think he got
viral.
bitched.
to just tweet that, like, oh, yeah, I don't got to do it, but I'm going to do it now. Like, trying to, you know,
know he's
step
dramatic.
himself up.
You know, Stephen A. Smith has bossed up, man. Like, he's like a presidential candidate.
He just
you know?
got 5 years, 100 mil.
He's him.
Yeah.
He is.
No, he's a goat.
He's
Yeah,
him.
he's bossed up.
He's
like,
a high
you know,
level role player in the NBA right now. 20 million a
Contract
year.
wise. No, he's cooking.
Yeah.
That's a fucking.
He's making
fact.
more than Austin Reeves.
He might be
Comfortably.
making Malik Monk money, not the same years, but the same money.
Yeah, just a little bit less than Jeremy Grant.
Jerry's at 30.
I know. He's making 20, 25,
not little.
20 mil, 20 to 25.
20.
5 for 120, right?
That's 20.
No, yeah, same thing. No, but yeah, he's like making the rounds. I don't know how he like sleeps or like does any research for his sports
He
shows.
probably doesn't.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. No, but he's like he's like on politics shows. He's on Fox.
Would you vote
He's
for him?
everywhere. No,
I will say this: if Trump can become president, I understand why Stephen A. Smith now believes in himself that he can also one day become president.
I don't think that he really views himself as a serious candidate.
No.
I just think that he's kind of just like telling the Democrats to step their game up.
So basically, I got that type of power. I can go in there and win that shit if I want to.
A big part of it is being able to speak and galvanize
and debate.
He can do that.
Yeah.
Very high level.
He can do
debate,
that,
bro.
Yeah, that's why.
If he got into a debate against Trump, I'll be honest.
Trump's losing.
It gets ugly.
Trump's
ugly.
losing, man.
Trump had one debate with Kamala, and he's like, all right, we're straight.
I'm good.
Yeah.
So based on this question, Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett, you don't think it's like out of this realm?
I take Scott. He's
At
so
all?
much younger. He's like 3-4 years younger.
He might not be so much younger.
He's like 3-4 years.
Let me check their
I
age.
think
RJ was
RJ's
young.
They
but
might be
for a
like a
minute.
year apart.
Ain't no way a year.
How many years did Scotty play in college?
One.
Yeah, he did.
But he didn't play
RJ
against
is 24 years old.
I think Scott is maybe like
22.
21.
Scotty's 23.
What?
They're a year apart.
Wow. That shit changes everything.
Nah, I still think. So you're taking
changes-
RJ now?
No, I'm definitely thinking more about it before. Like,
Scotty
what?
this year is averaging 28 and 6.
Scotty's on a rookie deal. RJ got paid. When the fuck? When's RJ's birthday?
RJ's averaging 22, 6 and 6.
Yo, this.
RJ's birthday is June 14th. Oh no, Scotty got paid too.
Mm-hmm.
Scotty got his
got a
bag
contract.
back.
He got
He's still on his
extension.
rookie though. On his rookie deal though.
Like this year,
Yeah.
like you're saying salary wise?
yes.
No, I think he's on his contract.
Oh wow.
It might be, but he's on a max deal like for
No,
his
I know. Yeah.
extension.
Wow. Damn. Yo,
I'm still taking Scotty. I
No,
think
like
he's the
that's
better
kind of
player.
crazy.
Like, is it not a conversation at all? Because their numbers are virtually the same
matter to
in
me.
a similar
But
situation.
RJ Barrett's put up numbers almost every year. He's giving you like, if you just look at the numbers, like, damn, is that a borderline all-star? But you know what I mean?
Am I crazy for saying that I'd rather have the ball in RJ's hands than Scotty's? That's crazy.
He's a Scotty guy.
You think that's crazy?
No, it's just Scotty's. There's levels to it. Yeah, he's shooting poorly this season, no doubt. He's never been this notoriously good shooter.
That's a fact.
You see his ceiling; it's higher than RJ's.
It's Andre Iguodala,
It might be higher, but I'm just saying,
the
like,
All-Star version.
in terms of, I'm not saying either of them are excellent at this, but in terms of half court creation, I think RJ low-key could create better than him in a half court.
No,
Scotty's a better playmaker.
exactly, and also getting downhill.
Like,
and still
RJ has-
taking
he's
Scotty.
bigger, too.
RJ,
yeah.
but RJ gets downhill. He
Yeah,
can
but
do
he's
this.
not a great finisher.
But he has the step back three to
Scotty
him.
got some more size, some more girth.
RJ has those
This
moves.
is funny as shit.
On
I'll be
a
honest,
perimeter. I'm not. No, RJ has
I
those moves.
understand. He gets his. So does Scotty in a different way.
I just found it crazy how there was a report that came out recently that it was like the Raptors are looking to shop RJ, and I'm just like, I mean, what's the difference between him and Scotty really? Like
Damn.
that they're shopping him, but Scotty is like untouchable.
They
RJ's
drafted
handle's
Scotty. They
also
feel
still
differently
not the
about him.
tightest. Like it could be a little cleaned up.
Raptors fans gonna get you, man.
I mean, Raptors fans like RJ.
RJ
love
Barrett
Scotty.
is playing
They
really
got
No,
well.
they treat Scotty like he invented the game. And
Let
I
me
get
let me
it.
look at StatHead and like make a quick stat comparison
There he
to
goes.
this year.
I know the efficiency for Scotty's
New
been
media.
New media.
This is what they
He's
want.
about
It's
to get-
that
he's gonna
head.
get nasty. I'm telling you, he's gonna get nasty.
When do you come to this realization that RJ Barrett is
back.
either back or better than Scotty or just as good as Scotty?
Definitely when the weed got in there.
I just went on Twitter and I looked at that report, and I was like, why is RJ just like a trade piece and Scotty's untouchable? I don't think their games are that
I don't know
far
why you'd
apart.
move off of RJ, but he's definitely not untouchable.
Well, look at that starting five. It's just all funny looking.
It is
And
kinda
they're about
weird.
to bring in a top pick.
And they're just paying a lot of people for
too.
being bad, not even a playing team in the East.
Yeah. I mean, they're about to bring in somebody, so somebody got to go.
Mm-hmm.
And they paid Brandon Ingram.
Do you guys want to look at career stats? Do you think that's better or like just this season stats?
Just look at this
This
season.
season.
Okay,
Yeah.
because career
You
stats
said they're both in a
low-key-
similar role this year.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'll be honest. I'll be frank with you. I ain't watching much of Toronto.
Oh, there's not much to
I'm
watch.
about to sit here in caps. I have no opinion.
Yeah,
on
they're
this.
both pretty much empty numbers to me. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I know who Scotty is as a man.
What is he?
Andre Iguodala.
Minneapolis.
Okay, so are you guys ready?
How the mighty have fallen.
Are you okay? So RJ Barrett beats him in points per game. Scotty beats him in
Can we hear the numbers?
okay, 21.7 versus 19.8.
Okay.
I will say the numbers after I
Who
name
are
the
you saying
categories.
first?
RJ first, Scotty
RJ
second.
first,
yeah.
Scotty. That's always
Just,
the
you can say
rotation.
21-7,
Yeah.
19 RJ.
Or I'll just tell you who's win the category and based off the higher number you
All right,
will
let's do it,
understand.
'cause, yeah.
So the next category Scotty wins. Total rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks per game. 7.8 to 6.4 rebounds, 6.1 to 5.7 assists, 1.5
that's tough.
steals to 0.8 steals, 1.1 blocks to 0.3 blocks. Field goal percentage and 3-point percentage, RJ Barrett's better. 47.6% from the field. Scotty's at 45%. RJ's at 35.7% from three. Scotty's at 26.8%. But Scotty's a better free throw shooter, 77.9% versus 64.8%. The EFG, RJ's at 53%, and then Scotty's at 49%. And then Scotty has him beat in BPM and VORP.
Value over replacement.
And box plus minus.
First of all, some of those are ties. 5.7 is 6. Let's be fair. And 0.8 is 1.
Yeah, some of them, they're close. The numbers are very similar.
There's some tie. Just show respect. Wow.
And Sky's been in the mud this year. There's no way around it.
This year.
Last year was an all-star. Don't be casual.
I thought it was the year before.
No, it was last year.
You sure?
100%.
Oh, shouldn't have got it. I'll be honest.
Last year was a hooper. He was averaging like 40% from three at the half.
Tell you word.
He was OD. And then he fell off.
I believe you.
You think Scotty's highs are higher than the occasional RJ 1 month stints?
Yes.
That's the issue. It's a 1 month stint. At least Scotty's doing it for.
I will say that month stint was at the perfect time because it was during playoff time. So I get it. That Star J run against Cleveland, against Miami, he was hooping.
Yeah, he went crazy. He's like Jalen Green.
Are you a big
Jalen Green clears?
RJ versus Jalen Green.
Jalen Green. I'd rather have Jalen Green. Yeah.
So Jalen Green over Scotty.
Yeah,
it's not nuts.
I just think there's just Jalen Green shows too much high end.
Give me Scotty, man.
Potential.
You like guys
as a
like
scorer.
that.
I like two-way guys. You know what I mean? I like guys that
Jalen Green's
defend.
two-way.
Nuts.
I don't think he's a terrible defender.
Drew nuts.
He's not Scotty.
Nuts. No. That was
He
nuts.
can hold his own.
But he's not a
He's
stop.
not no cone.
No,
He's not no cone.
He's just little. He's little as
Skinny,
hell.
yeah.
He like my frame.
Yeah.
I might be thicker.
Is he?
And you're petite.
You are.
I might be thicker
Is he
than
like
Will.
two-way where like he's an amazing?
Two-way is not even in his repertoire, bro.
He's trying to get
He's
in
got
there.
nothing two-way
He
about
has
him.
been a good defender this year, though.
He has.
Like I said, he's not a bad defender by
passable.
any means.
And I'm gonna be honest
but
with
there's
you,
a lot of fine defenders who aren't two-way
It
players.
could be the inconsistencies on offense that make me
He's passable.
that hinder me from saying two-way, honestly, because that defense is pretty good.
Okay.
I need the Raptors to have some primetime slots, man. You know, I haven't watched the game this season of them. I'll be honest. But just on the numbers,
I
though,
watched maybe one game when they played
on the
Boston.
numbers, you could definitely make an argument like, oh, RJ Scotty is not that far off.
You know what you just have to do in all actuality, because when I watch the bum teams are when they play the Lakers. So whenever the Lakers are playing against
Lost
the
the
Hornets,
Raptors.
the Jazz, those are the only times I'm locking in.
Yeah, the
We
Raptors.
lost to the Raptors.
So
We
when Joe
got-
said the Raptors are nice.
The Raptors
We
are
got
that
smoked
team
by like 20.
that I'm
That's
watching
nuts.
League Pass, and if another game ends and theirs is like at the tail end, like I'll catch like the last 5 minutes. So like the only moments of the Raptors that I caught this year, which is maybe swaying my opinion on RJ Barrett, was the game against the Celtics.
I'm crying.
Where RJ had like just the best game of
RJ
of
has
the
his
did
moments
season.
well
against
against
us.
you
He had
guys.
the fucking three,
40
bro.
yeah.
When he was with the Knicks over us, and that's what started the turnaround.
Yeah, and it was like, man, they just lose.
Did he have 40
close
against you guys, or I'm
games.
tripping?
That game he might have, bro. That was some
Who's
bullshit
guarding
he
him?
hit. Smart.
That makes sense.
I'm talking about this year.
Oh, in the first matchup, I don't remember, bro. We were
Probably
playing like
Tatum.
shit. There was probably a couple people probably out.
Bullshitting.
I don't know, bro. We lost by 20. I threw that game out of my head. That was the game I tweeted. Boston is not even worthy of you watching. I remember that. It was like,
No, that was the Clippers, wasn't it?
that was the
Clippers was
No,
not gonna
the
win the
Clippers
chip
was
one.
the night
the
that.
Clippers was the chip one that
they're
doesn't
not gonna win a
exist.
chip. Yeah.
The Raptors
Thank God
one
you have
was
a screenshot of that, man.
Yeah, that's a good Photoshop. The Raptors was the Celtics don't even deserve to be watched right now.
The ironic part about it is that I still have respected Scotty in my 2021 redraft, which is what we're going to get into right now.
Let's go.
I have
6 o'clock, by the
the
way.
draft pool of
6 o'clock.
players.
We're good. Okay. 5:57. We're good.
Okay, let's get it. So you can stay on for probably this segment and the other one, or just this one?
I think probably just this one.
Okay, that's cool. All right, so I have a draft pool that
Thank God.
we all. I feel like we're just gonna do the
Take
lottery
70
picks, 14-1.
Okay, I was gonna say I have like 15 players, so
I have the exact
Hoping it
order
wasn't
of
the
how
first.
I went, 1
Oh,
to
don't do that.
14.
You
I don't want to reveal
70
my
check.
order.
I'm going to be honest with you.
I have my order, but I could send it to
This
you.
draft means something to me. We'll understand it
Don't
while
even
we
do
do
it.
it.
I got it up now.
I had Sam Hauser on my list, by the way.
You need help.
He doesn't even make them.
Just honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
In case we
After
went like
7
in case
guys.
we went like top 20.
But how are we going to do this?
Oh,
Who
that's
gets
true.
first pick?
Me.
Riv gets first. We'll just go around the horn.
Whoever team
Me.
any of us on the panel root for. So I think Riv has like
Bro,
Riv's
this
gonna
kid-
have half this. Riv's gonna have the first
the
3
Pistons,
picks.
Rockets,
Whoa,
Cavs,
Rockets. Whoa. He was
Warriors
one player. I'm the
twice.
Rockets guy with all due
the
respect.
Grizzlies. Oh
What do they
man,
got? But they're together.
Bro, I didn't mean to.
But I am the Detroit guy. So,
That's for sure.
Okay, well, I mean, we could just go like this.
Yeah, I'll just want to
you can have the
first.
first pick, Riz.
For sure.
Yeah. So, the first pick, 2021 NBA redraft. The Pistons have the first pick.
Yep. In Detroit, I think they stay safe. They stay home, and they grab Cade Cunningham. I think he's one of the few guys, or if not the only guy, out of those top 5, 6 guys that can go to a situation like that and be great at it. And I think he's done that. He's shown you that. The hindsight is also helping me.
No
keeping
doubt.
Him at
No
number
doubt.
1. But I'm always believed in Cade Cunningham's talent. You know, I've always been riding high for him. So number 1 pick stays the same. Cade Cunningham.
The second overall pick, I'm having the Rockets change what they went with, and they're gonna go with Evan Mobley this time around. And he would be the perfect Ume Udoka guy. Like, I know Jalen Green has shown flashes.
I wish he
but
wasn't on the Cavs.
Imagine if Evan Mobley
He'd be
was
one
on
of my
the
favorite
Rockets.
players, bro. He is still one of my favorite players. It's hard to root for him.
If Evan Mobley's on the Rockets, everything changes. I don't think they draft Alperen Sengun. They probably draft somebody else.
That was me.
Maybe they draft Trey Murphy. You know, who knows?
Yeah. Third pick, we have the what do we have?
The
Cavs,
Raptors.
right?
Oh, the Cavaliers.
Cavs had the third
Raptors
pick.
are
I
fourth.
got the list now.
Okay, there we go. He's locked in. Third pick, I have the Cavs taking Franz. They took Mobley in real life. Franz is here. The other guys on the board I was considering, like, do you think about Şengün maybe? Like Jalen Johnson's down the board, but Franz, the way he's been playing this season, the leaps he's been taking as a playmaker, as a driver, and we know what those numbers look like, man. The numbers say when Franz is on the court, that's the best version of the Orlando Magic. So even with all the injuries and whatnot that they've had when he's been on the court, specifically him by himself, because you know him and Paolo are under 500 together, they've been a really good team.
All right, so the fourth pick belongs to the Raptors. In real life, they took Scotty Barnes. I will not be taking Scotty Barnes.
Wow.
I will be taking Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson is honestly one of the players that I could see playing on all 30 teams. Can handle the ball, can shoot, can obviously attack, can pass, can defend at a high level. Give me Jalen Johnson at 4.
It'd be a great fit next to RJ.
You would, because in this scenario, Scotty's not there.
Well, RJ ain't there either.
It's a fact.
They could have traded OG still for RJ and Emmanuel quickly.
Shit, they might not have been. Jalen Johnson would have made this team really good.
Not even making the Hawks really good.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he's hurt. He got hurt. They were solid when he was playing.
This the year he broke out for sure.
Orlando, 5th pick. He took Jalen Suggs the first time. You taking Jalen Johnson? I love the move. I'm thinking about Scotty here, but you're looking at Orlando's situation. They had Suggs. They don't have Banchero yet. So they're sitting here, and they need a guy. And I'm looking at
They
the
don't
board.
have Suggs. Suggs is this draft.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't
Okay.
have Suggs. They don't have Banchero. They just right now. This is them figuring it out.
Franchise player.
Franz is now off the board. That's somebody they picked later down in the draft. I'm thinking about Şengün here, but I'm just going to go Scotty Barnes. I'm going to play it cool. They want to bring in a wing that can defend at a high level, and I think Scotty Barnes is that. He still sticks with the identity of what Orlando wants. So
The 6th overall pick, I'm going to go with Alperen Şengün for OKC. At this time, this was the Josh Giddey picking at this time. They didn't really have a second co-star next to SGA. They didn't have J-Dub. They didn't have Chet. And they needed a center desperately. I'm going to go with Şengün.
The Warriors are the 7th pick. Do you want to take the Warriors here?
I want to see where your head is at with all
So
this.
the Warriors, I'm really between two different people here.
think
In
you
real
should
life,
go with-
this was the Kuminga pick, right? At
Yes,
pick
yes,
7,
yes,
you're
it
taking
was.
Woody down the board. I'm between Trey Murphy and Herb Jones. Those are
Love
the
that.
two selections I'm
off.
between.
This is right before we win the title.
Yeah, so Trey Murphy, what he's shown offensively this year is like, holy shit, he's taken a leap to being like, maybe he could be the second, third scorer on a team that we really didn't see in years past due to all the injuries. Herb Jones, of course, gives you arguably the best perimeter defender in the NBA. So it's really a matter of, do you want offense? Do you want defense? And I think with Steph Curry there, you still got Clay. I'm taking the upside of Herb Jones, all defensive type player, sliding him right in. He could start just like Jalen Johnson, all 30 teams. Herb could do the same thing.
So you're taking Herb.
Taking Herb.
Jones over
Okay.
Trey
I took
Murphy.
Trey.
Spicy.
You know why? Because we have Wiggins.
At that
True.
time, do have
Yeah.
Wiggins.
This is before Wiggins breaks down the
Yeah,
2022 season.
I'm gonna be honest. I like the pick.
Yeah,
Either
I'm
or
fine
is
with
fine.
It's good. Herb Jones is awesome.
Either or is.
At pick 8, the Orlando Magic in real life got Franz Wagner. With the 8th pick, we will be selecting Usman Garuba. I'm just joking.
Defensive versatility.
That's a great callback to my first mock
Scotty
draft.
and Usman Garuba.
If you know, you know.
Menacing.
If you know, you
If you know, you know. But at pick 8, Dehls made it easy for me. It was going to be Herb. It was going to be Trey Murphy. He took Herb. I'm going to take Trey Murphy here with the 8th pick.
All right, I'm here. I'm sitting with the 9th pick, and because I think this is really easy, Sacramento went guard,
Yep.
Davion Mitchell. Actually, this is really hard because you took Herb Jones and I forgot for a split second.
Trey Murphy's off the board.
Trey Murphy's. Those would have been two guys Sacramento should have took. They were eyeing. Looking at the rest of the board, you got guys like Trey Mann, Quentin Grimes, Cam Thomas. Man, the board gets really naked after this. Corey Kispert's here. Moses Moody's here. Kuminga's here. I think if you're Sacramento, you have to go with an upside pick here, being as if all the guys that's best player available, all the guys that fit what you want to do kind of aren't there. So I'll take Jonathan Kuminga in this one just for the upset alert. I think with Sacramento, you need some raw talent to come in and, Herb is gone, Trey Murphy is gone. So I'll just go JK here.
Memphis Grizzlies picking at 10. They picked Zaire Williams, and they were trying to bet on an upside with a wing player. But I think at this stage of the draft, you got to go with best player available. And this dude wasn't on anybody's radar.
This motherfucker is going to do it.
But Austin Reeves,
This
the 10th
motherfucker's
overall
a genius,
pick.
man.
I had Reeves on my
He's the best player available on the board.
Yes, he is.
And Reeves with John Moran, who
You're real as hell. He was going to
Man.
be my next pick. Hand to God.
Reeves.
Forgot about undrafted.
Yes. Real. Good shit, Joel.
I thought you were gonna go a different way. I have the Hornets here at pick 11, and the number 2 pick. Nobody selected Jalen Green, correct?
Oh, that's a good point.
So
Didn't have anywhere to get him.
It was between
Yeah.
Reeves and Green. and I
okay,
went
that's
Reeves.
when you said best player available.
John
Reeves,
Morant
I
and
think, has
Jalen
shown,
Green
especially on a good
are the
team,
same
to like
size.
fit in really well. Maybe Jalen Green. I mean, they're winning now too. I shouldn't say that, but Jalen Green, best player available. You need everything for this Hornets team. Right? This is what year 2 LaMelo you're about to go into. So they just need talent. Jalen Green's the best player on the board.
This is like the most immature team of all time.
Yeah, not great. Backcourt of LaMelo and Jalen Green is fake crazy.
Hey, but that
we're
was
here.
the Rockets too. They were an immature. They called them an AAU team, and they ended up blossoming this season. So I like it. At pick 12 in real life, the Spurs selected Joshua Primo. We know how that worked out. But
Can't hit them all.
there's a few. Obviously, Jalen Green would have been a no-brainer. Austin Reeves would have been a no-brainer. But I believe that it's between a couple of people. Cam Thomas, Santi Aldama is interesting as well. I am going to be selecting Cam Thomas, though. They need another guard that can score a bucket.
Just to let you know, Jalen Suggs hasn't been picked.
What team are you again?
I am the Spurs, and the Spurs could...
Scream Spurs, honestly.
He does scream Spurs. And I want you to know that I appreciate you letting me know that.
Yes.
Wish you told me that when I had the Sacramento pick.
I will be honest.
I don't think Kuminga was a bad pick either.
No. I am still interested in Cam Thomas just because they do need some more offense. I mean, I feel like you look at this team now in hindsight, they do have De'Aaron Fox. Devin Vassell was able to blossom. You do have Victor. But I still feel like before the De'Aaron Fox, they needed another guy, another spark on the offensive side. But Jalen Suggs, he's an easy plug-and-play kind of guy. So I'm torn just because my selection was Cam Thomas. But, yeah, I think Jalen Suggs is the right selection. He'll be pick 12.
You flipped.
And the pairing eventually with him and Wemby would be generational.
Maybe they don't get number 1 pick. They have Suggs.
Hey, listen, it was
Orlando got the number 1 pick with Suggs.
What? No, I'm saying with Wemby's draft.
No, I understand that, but they got Suggs in the year after.
Yeah.
The
Well,
Magic
there was
got
a couple
number
years
one.
going to
later,
be
you know?
bad still.
Fair.
And the draft was going to be rigged for them for sure.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sitting here with the
Duncan.
13th pick, Indiana. They picked Chris Duarte with this pick, who unfortunately he did not pan
Hey,
out.
that year not bad.
No, unfortunately, did not pan out.
It
So
aged well for a couple months.
for sure. He was playing solid. I'm going to go with a similar player, but a little bit younger. I'm going to take Corey Kispert in this one. I think Indiana brings in a sniper, somebody that can shoot the ball at a high level. You know, I thought about Aldama, but I think Corey Kispert's an underrated player.
Over Cam,
Yeah.
Aaron Wiggins in this draft, too.
he was on my radar.
I like Corey Kispert's three-point shooting.
Josh Giddey's in this draft.
I'm good.
Josh Giddey been hooping
He's
for
been
y'all.
playing well. I mean, it's the Bulls, but
He has
he's been
been.
playing well.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm sticking with the
So
sniper.
at the 14th overall pick, they took Moses Moody in real life.
He's been playing.
I might take Moses Moody in this draft as well. I think I'm torn between Josh Giddey, Cam Thomas, Aaron Wiggins, Aldama, Isaiah Jackson.
Hauser.
you have Golden State's pick, right?
Yes.
Hauser's
Josh
never
Giddey's
shot.
a
You know,
fifth
Hauser's
grader.
never shot under 40% in his life.
Sam Hauser, that's another sniper that you got to think about that would fit on this Warriors team perfectly. But I feel like with the 14th overall pick, I don't think the Warriors, even though like Cam Thomas is the first overall pick in That Boy Nice drafts, I don't think he fits the Warriors culture at all. Like I don't see him in a Warriors uniform. I think like he needs to be in a place where he has freedom. He could just score. So I'm gonna go with Moses Moody still.
You think about it, Jock Vaughn was benching Cam Thomas because he wasn't playing defense.
Plus, we already got that boy nice there. So
You do.
Jordan Poole's on the team at the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's true.
Clashing
and
play
Steph.
styles.
yeah. What?
And Steph.
Are you calling Steph a that boy nice boy?
I mean, he is.
He is.
I thought
You
that
don't
boy,
have to just be like some inefficient.
Oh, I thought that
whatever.
boy nice boys was just
Nah, it's just
inefficient.
basically-
But
If
it's
you like
also
to
just
watch
like,
him, he looks
God damn. You know what I mean?
Because I usually do that to the
But
dudes.
I feel
who
like
are
that's bad guy type. You know what I mean?
I thought that boy nice with the boys where you watch their highlights. You can't look at their stats because
Oh,
it looks
okay.
fun.
That's fair.
Yeah, like inefficient, all that. No, nah, just watch his highlights.
So the 2021 NBA redraft, the Pistons go with Cade. Second overall pick, Rockets go with Evan Mobley. Third overall pick, the Cavaliers go with Franz Wagner. The fourth overall pick, the Raptors go with Jalen Johnson. The fifth overall pick, the Magic go with Scotty Barnes. The sixth overall pick, OKC goes with Şengün. The seventh pick, Warriors select Herb Jones. The eighth pick, the Magic get Trey Murphy. The Kings get Kuminga at 9. Reeves goes to the Grizzlies at 10. The Hornets draft Jalen Green at 11. The Spurs draft Suggs at 12. The Pacers draft Corey Kispert at 13. And the Warriors draft Moses Moody at 14.
I should have taken Murphy.
Trey
Regret it
Murphy?
already. Yep.
Yeah, I would have taken Herb if it makes you feel better. Either which
why
one,
do you
shake it.
Why do you regret it?
I don't know. Murphy's offensive game is just so much
Murphy
better.
with Steph and
Hey,
Clay.
but we've seen.
Oh
Herb,
my God.
Herb last year shot 40% from three and
Let me
was
ask-
first All NBA.
let me ask you
Yeah.
a question, though.
But Trey can create for himself.
Who do you think Steve Kerr would have played more?
Exactly. You don't
Herb
need,
point.
you don't
That's a
need
great point.
Trey to create for
I know.
himself on the Warriors.
Eventually down the road, though, it's like, that would be
Yeah,
nice.
it would be
You know?
nice.
Herb would have
But
kept
for
him
those
afloat.
2-3 years when you had Poole and Steph and Clay, you'd been fine.
Shit, even if you think if they take Herb,
Even Trey Murphy, you would have Wiggins there.
if they take Herb, then you're not sitting there trying to blend timelines. Because Herb kind of
Plays
fits
right away, yeah.
right away what you want.
Yeah, because Murphy, it took multiple years and injuries for him to do this.
I feel like this is the only year that you would probably take Trey Murphy. I think the last
That's a fact.
2
Last year,
years,
no one's really thinking about it. I don't
you'd
think.
probably go with Herb Jones. After the rookie years, people would have definitely went with Herb Jones over Trey Murphy.
Herb Jones is elite.
He is.
So Riv had to go referee a 4th grade basketball game. But we did the 2021 redraft with him, so that was good. We're going to do top 10 duos in the NBA in just a bit. But we were just talking about wrestling and how tonight should be a big, big SmackDown.
I wasn't expecting Cody to be on SmackDown, but once I heard that he was going to be on the show, it became a must-watch, guaranteed.
You
Time's
know
at
a
8?
promo's being cut.
8 o'clock,
Yes.
facts.
A promo's definitely being cut. He's going to address John Cena. I don't think John Cena's going to come back just yet, and I don't want to harp too much on it because, Dehls, we got to catch you up to speed, my boy.
Well, it'd also be out after, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So he's going to be on Raw the 17th. So
Yes.
not Monday in Madison Square Garden. He's going to be there the 17th.
And I think the reason why he's doing that is because, way back then on March 17th, John Cena debuted his current theme song that he has now. That's a classic. So they're predicting that.
What year was that?
I don't know, man. It might have been like 2005
Oh,
or
yeah, I was gonna
06.
say
It might have been
facts.
something like that. But so now they say that he's going to come back the 17th of March this year with his whole new brand because he's a bad guy now. So he's going to come with new music, like new gear. We're
You know
gonna
who's been
see-
texting me about it? Jer. He's locked in.
I have seen him in the group chat talk
He's
about
locked
it.
in. We've been talking about it a lot, actually. He's been trying to see if we go to SummerSlam because it's in MetLife.
How much are tickets?
I don't know. Probably not crazy. Honestly, if it's 200-300, I would still go.
I think it's 2 days.
Yeah,
It's
is
a
2 days.
Saturday
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Sunday.
SummerSlam is the second biggest event to
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I feel like Elimination Chamber back in the day wasn't as big as it is now.
To me, the 3 in a row, they did it. They knew what they were doing, I should say. To go Royal Rumble.
Royal
EC,
Rumble was also massive
yes,
because
it
you always
is.
got the title shot.
Yes. Royal Rumble's definitely up there. I love Money in the Bank. People starting
Money in
to
the Bank
not
is
like
awesome,
it.
yeah.
Money in the Bank is fired.
I loved it when it was just a match at
WrestleMania. I get it.
I love the pay-per-view too, but when it was just a match at WrestleMania, it just kind of gave it like, damn, somebody could cash that shit in tonight. You know
Dude,
what I'm
but
saying?
it happened in Money in the Bank too. Liv Morgan
Yeah.
cashed in on Ronda Rousey at Money in the Bank.
Yeah, she did.
I think Kane also cashed in on Money in the Bank too. So I think he cashed in on Rey Mysterio, if I'm not mistaken, which was funny.
Rey Mysterio always gets done dirty.
He does.
He never
He
holds
does.
long titles for a long time at all. It sucks. But
There's been some elite cash-ins.
I was playing the new WWE game. I only played it for a short amount of time, maybe like an hour at most. And I was also watching some of the entrances of the wrestlers that I wanted to watch. And
Main event?
specifically the women I was watching.
Oh,
those
of
entrances,
course.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so
Liv
I
did
was.
a little twirl into the end.
She doesn't do it in the game.
Wow.
No, it's ridiculous.
Are you kidding me?
This is what I'm like. This is my conclusion.
You were gonna refund the game.
This is my conclusion. Tiffany Stratton, her entrance, she has like cameras flashing at her, like taking pictures with the sound effect.
I get it.
Like but she doesn't do it in real life. Like, so
sorry.
why is it in the game?
No, it's
it
fair.
makes no sense. So, I was playing it and I honestly don't like it. Like, I'm about to make a video and post it on my YouTube, like about how much I hate WWE games now. I'm still gonna play it because I like playing wrestling games, but it just sucks. Like, they have this new thing called the Island, which is like the neighborhood in 2K. Bro, Nike store, Jordan store, 19,000 VC to buy some fucking shoes. That's $10 in real life that you're spending on a game. And I'm just like, yo, bro, what the hell? Like, what the fuck happened to games just rewarding you for playing the fucking game?
It's been dead for a while.
Yeah,
bro.
like, what the hell? Why do I have to spend money to buy some virtual ass shoes? Like, why can't I just play the game and I could earn those sneakers and earn more clothes in my closet by just playing the game with my rewards?
People put out videos of NBA 2K that each year VC just gets more and more expensive. Not maybe just like purchasing the VC, but like the real life compared to, you know what I mean? Like shoes would be 20,000 VC in one game, 25,000 in another, and just keeps on going up and up. I don't know if 2K was the first game to really do that, but it feels like it was among one of the first to have this online mode where you could buy virtual currency. And of course, like the park and all of this stuff they do with that is on just a level that really nobody else is doing in terms of sports games, at least. So they feel like one of the first. Fortnite's come around, right? But the game's free to play.
Underrated? FIFA.
FIFA
Remember when they
buying
shut
FIFA
down
points?
coins?
Yeah.
Ultimate Team.
When they shut down coins, that moment right there actually
playing
changed
FIFA.
everything.
Yeah.
You really did stop playing FIFA because it used to be fun. Oh, I can actually go out there and I could buy 2 million, 3 million coins. I can get a super stacked team.
Because back even then, it was impossible to just grind the game and get 1 million coins.
Yeah, it's a fact.
You'd be playing for maybe 300 hours.
No, it's a fact. The Ultimate Team for FIFA was pretty unrealistic.
Get like 500 VC.
They don't
for
make
games.
the grind realistic. Like, that's why they make new 2K characters with NBA and you buy $75,000 worth of VC. Well, not, 75,000 VC, not real life money. But yeah, like, because you cannot grind your 60 overall to an 85 realistically, like in a month period. Like, it's going to take you mad time to do that. So, and you have to play it for a lot of hours. So I just don't understand what it is with this. Like, they're just so greedy because the games cost a lot. I spent $100 on the Dead Man edition for WWE. I didn't get the Bloodline edition because the only thing they offer is like My Faction packs, which is basically WWE's version of Ultimate Team.
Why does WD have Ultimate Team?
It shouldn't. What the fuck? You can't even build a team. Like, it's just, you're just wrestling with characters. They have like different attires and shit like that. So it makes no sense to me, bro. Like, and that's what I just hate about the new wrestling games now and the entrances. This is what I hated the most about it. The entrances that I saw, it didn't even feel like these dudes that are making the game watch WWE on a weekly basis, because I could watch it and I could see, okay, this is what these people do in their entrances. And in the game, I didn't feel like that was the case. I felt like that shit was half-assed. It was rushed. They was doing some movements that they have never fucking done before. The shit was off beat. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, they really just pay no attention to like the detail in these games.
Did they have Pentas? Did you check out Pentas?
I did not check out Pentas.
Okay, that's one that I'd be interested to see. Lyra Valkyrie is another one that I'd be interested to see.
I saw Liv Morgan, Naomi. When Naomi does that glow shit, the shit wasn't on beat. Like, she didn't even do like the thing when you're supposed to do it. That's what pissed me off. I saw Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton's, Naomi's, Batista. Batista looks nothing like Batista in the game.
Really?
Like, I'm talking about SmackDown versus Raw 07.
He looks better.
Makes him look better than this current game.
Batista on beat for his shit?
Yeah, no, Batista was dope, but the music for some reason for his song, it's like kind of low.
He still does like the explosions?
Yeah, he does that, but bro, his arms are like the length of his fucking torso.
He had one of the GOAT entrances.
He did, yeah, easily.
Yeah, in this game, bro, he's jacked, because we know Batista's jacked, but his arms like literally just fall to his waist.
Got like a 7-foot wingspan.
Like, he looks like a T-Rex. He doesn't look like Batista. The shorts, straight black. Like no design, no graphic on them. I'm like, bro, this is not Batista. Like, you know what I'm saying?
He used to have like the black and red.
Yeah, he used to have Batista on the front with like the design on the back and shit. So
that was all the details about that one.
Batista. Nah, man. So I just feel like they don't pay attention to that detail anymore. It sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I was never really a WWE player of the video game. So it sucks to hear that. I know people love the game, but I'm not surprised.
It does make me think if I fell off of video games because I just got older, or if the games just changed. Because I would play online, like we would do franchise all the time, but that was really the only online stuff I would do. Once my player and stuff got involved, I wasn't really playing. I'd like to play my player offline, and then everything got moved online. So now you needed your guy to be 90 overall. You needed to buy VC, and I was like, all right, well, I'm not doing this shit.
Nah, bro, the worst thing ever is just you bought all these clothes with the VC. I could buy it for 2K23. It doesn't transfer to 2K24. I got to buy all that shit all over again. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but 2K used to be getting $60 a game from these people. And now with all the microtransactions, bro, they're probably getting
raking in so much
They're
money.
probably getting like $150 per user, $200 per user. And just like, yeah, well,
bro, they
we're gonna
definitely
keep
have
doing
gotten
this.
500 to 600 from me.
I respect that. I was gonna say I paid $70 for the
Could
game.
be more. Who knows? You know, like it could be $400 per person.
I paid $70 for the game. Immediately the $50 for the first my player. I have 2, so that's $100 right there. So 170.
Yeah,
and that's calm. That was easy. The 50 off getting it first day was the easiest $50 I ever spent. I already went in with the idea that I was spending $50.
Nah, it just sucks because, you know, the WWE, they have this island thing that, you know, it has
Is the island cool?
It is cool. I'm not like they definitely put time into the design of it. I'm not gonna say it's whack. It's cool, and the matchmaking, like it's not you just hop into a ring, you get into like a matchmaking server, and then you get into a match. The reason why I'm frustrated about it is because last year WWE Online was unplayable. So to me, it just shows that 2K, they only gave a fuck about online play, which is something that, I mean, you could have done back in 2011. Like it's, you know, it's universal. They gave such a little fuck about online play because there was no money to be made. As soon as VC entered the matrix, oh shit, we got to make sure the matchmaking actually works.
Is this the first year with VC?
Yes,
Oh,
very first
wow.
year. Oh my God, now we have to make sure that the matchmaking actually works and you can get into an online match with somebody, you know, and they only cared about that once there was VC involved. I feel like that's bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I want one day for video games to be great again, especially the sports games. I enjoy playing NBA 2K. I love playing the rec. I love going at night after we get off a pod and playing with the guys. Other than that, I don't really play anything outside of that. So then WWE, for you to say that it stinks, I'm not surprised, truthfully, at all.
That's why creativity is king, man. I just get into like the showcase, the WWE Universe mode, create my own world, and, you know, have these little storylines.
If you like games that are rewarding, I understand why people play Elden Ring. I understand why people play Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
People have been really high on Kingdom Come Deliverance too. I don't know if you heard about that.
I have not.
That I feel like a lot of people. It was made by some like indie studio. But it sold like hundreds of $1 million worth of copies. It got really good reviews.
Oh,
The
wow.
issue is that those games end.
Yeah.
So you get rewarded for playing, but they do end.
But you could also put like 80 hours into it. You know what I mean? If you do all the
Facts.
shit. So
That's like Batman, Spider-Man. There's so many different side missions. You could play for a long-ass time before you're 100% done with it. But it does end.
I just get pissed off at missions I can't complete. Like you get into those.
that's where you just look it up, bro.
I know you do, but you know they're just. I feel dumb as hell when I do that shit, man. Like I'm just like, damn, like I can't figure this out at all. Like I was playing Sonic. I bought like this Sonic game, and it was like an open world Sonic game. I just didn't know what the fuck to do after a couple things. I didn't know where I was going. I uninstalled it. You know, I don't know what to do. So
I understand
You know,
that.
for like these games, it's like, you know, it's easy to just wrestle somebody and pin them. It's
know what
easy
you
to just beat a team in 2K or Madden. It's just with these other games, you know, I feel like
You need to have some patience.
Yeah,
You need to let the story
you do.
develop. You know, you need to.
you got to be in the mood for it.
You do.
Like I remember when I played The Last of Us, I completed that game in a day because I was in the mood to like just finish out the entire story. But like with these other games, sometimes it just becomes a little bit harder when there's just a mission that just pisses you off.
I understand the not having patience, but when I like the only games like that I really played, not even like that because Guitar Hero is nothing like that, but that grind of getting good at Guitar Hero took a long ass time.
Yeah,
like
that's
a
tough.
long time.
I never played past
I
beginner.
still can't do the orange shit, bro.
Nah, it definitely takes some getting used to. The only reason I got so good at it, and it's the God's honest truth, is that my brother was great at it. And watching him be great at it, I'm just like, all right, I want to be good.
Did you ever
too.
have Rock Band?
Oh, dude, we used to. I probably even shouldn't even say this because they'll go out there and they'll find it. there's clips of me, my brother, my brother's two other friends, and we were like in a band for Rock Band. I used to play bass. That's before I was a man at all or any type of regular voice. I used to play guitar. Charles used to play drums. Our guy Josh used to play, or he used to sing, and then we used to have somebody just go ahead and play
Josh
bass.
sings.
Yeah. Yo, he used to body it. He used to be like 98, 99% all the time. But they forced me to learn how to play expert because they needed somebody to be in and play at their level.
They all
too.
played expert?
Yes.
Oh, that's nuts.
So we were locked in. This was again Rock Band 2. So bro, that's like 2000, if I'm not mistaken, like 2009. Dude, we used to play all the time. We had Rock Band 1, Rock Band 2, Rock Band 3, Guitar Hero 2, Guitar Hero 3, Guitar Hero 4, Guitar Hero 5, Rock Band Beatles. We used to play it all the time. So now, remember I was talking to you about Clone Hero? Dude, you can take every single game, every single song, and put it into Clone Hero.
Oh, that's the shit you have on your PC, right?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So I've been playing again recently. I haven't played for like the last week or two. I don't know why. I haven't been in the mood for it. But there was a time where I figured it out, locked in. I was playing every single day. There was one song, Spanish Fly from Van Halen. I could not beat to save my fucking life.
It's just fast.
Dude, it's just this weird three button pattern. So I can strum so you know how the buttons work. I can go pinky to index. Going index to pinky. My mind, for whatever reason, cannot get it to compute to actually doing it. So I'm left-handed. So I strum with my right hand, and the buttons I use my left hand. So in theory, this is my dominant hand that actually goes and presses the button. That index to pinky, I could not figure it out. I finally beat it. I have not played since.
Okay, I respect that.
I beat it at 75%. I took it with a smile on my face. It's a 60-second song.
Has Charles done it?
No, he didn't beat it either.
Okay.
Charles, for 99% of my life, was better than me at that game. I only recently, right now, got better at him because obviously we have both not played and I've been playing.
When's the last time you played?
We played on the Super Bowl before the game actually started. Him and I played, and we were trying to beat that song. We couldn't. I'm just like, I'm going to beat this damn song. It's the last thing I do. I finally beat it. I texted him. I have not picked it up since.
The drums are so cool to play in Guitar Hero Rock Band.
Charles was demonic at drums.
Yeah, they're so awesome. It made me want to play drums, man. I feel like that was like probably in terms of transferring what you learn from the game to like real life. I think probably drums is the easiest transition. Just because with guitar, like, it's
You got like real shit to
yes.
touch. Not
You're
buttons.
just
like
pressing buttons here
Yes.
and you're strumming here.
It's like real chords, like learning and shit like that. Where like the drums, it's just you got the kick, and then that's it. That's it. You got the hi hats. It's pretty much everything laid out there.
I got to expert on drums too, but nothing anywhere near Charles. I was not good compared to Charles. We used to record it on. Do you remember that? It was like a flip. It was called the micro flip or something along those lines. It was like a white camcorder, and you used to have the USB that you plug into a computer, and you can record and plug it in and have the video on your computer. So we used to record the screen that we were beating it. But in hindsight, we really should have been recording ourselves.
That's a fact, yeah.
Because we were ripping it.
No, that has.
We were legitimately amazing.
Are you in the video at all? Or
Yeah,
just
so in the beginning, we would intro it, and we used to have...
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, we used to have the DJ Hero band set. That's what we used because it had like a giant stand, and it was like a good height that it could go and line up with the television. The band name was called The Devil's Balls.
Okay.
For whatever reason. That's the most 2008, 2009 shit I've ever heard.
Devil's Balls.
But... yeah, we used to intro it, we used to say what instrument you played. So I remember like one of the very first videos, you see me, it's my round ass head. I was maybe 12, 11 years old. I was good. I was 4 years younger than them, and I was just as, if not a little bit better than some of them too. I was nice. I still am nice, to be fair.
I haven't played Guitar Hero in so long. I remember the first day, I don't think it was the first day Rock Band came out, it was the first day I played it. I had never been so excited to leave school. It was a Friday. I was going to my friend Eddie's house, I remember, who was down the street. He was the first kid I knew that had Rock Band. That was the longest day of school. I remember to this day how excited I was to play Rock Band. It was awesome.
It's hitting me. This is fourth grade. Guitar Hero 3 had just come out. And I remember my brother, because whatever anybody wants to say, if you have an older brother, you mimic everything he does. So when Smash Brothers came out for the Wii, the first go round, he had a folder and he wrote every single character that was going to be in Smash on that folder. So I was excited as hell for Guitar Hero 3. So every player that you could use, I think it was like Axel Steel, Slash you could use, the Grim Reaper, the Devil. I had a folder and I wrote all of their names on it too. I remember that being, that's like a weird, vivid memory that I have.
Man, the golden era of gaming, man.
It was fun.
It was.
You're
So
right, dude. I would kill to just go, get rid of school, go home.
Because back then, bro, like they would have a game about literally everything.
Yeah.
Any movie that came out, like they would have a fucking game.
They had a game for Prison Break, the TV show.
Yeah.
I remember watching that show and just like looking up, like, I want to have the video game. They have a video game for Prison Break. They had video games for Shrek.
I was gonna say Finding Nemo. I vividly remember playing it on the GameCube.
Yeah, The Simpsons, of course.
A game they need to drop yesterday. Mario Baseball on the Switch. I'm praying to God that when the Switch 2 comes out, one of the first games they announce is Mario Baseball. They had a Mario Baseball for the GameCube. They had a Mario Baseball for the Wii. And then the Switch came out and there's been no Mario Baseball. They dropped a Mario Tennis. They dropped the Mario Super Strikers, the soccer game. No baseball, which is insane because Mario Baseball is one of their best games. They've dropped some heater Mario games on the Switch. I can't say they haven't. Mario Odyssey. Dude, if you like games like that, you should cop a Switch. I mean, I shouldn't say that to you because you'll go out and actually buy it. But the Switch is an amazing purchase. There's some amazing games.
Jess has a Switch. We just really haven't gotten no games for it.
Mario Kart is the easiest burn ever, too.
What does she play?
She plays Mario Kart.
Okay.
Yeah, she be playing against like at 2 a.m. against those kids in Japan and shit. It has the flag next to their names and stuff. Where they're from.
One of my earliest memories of the Switch is puffing on the pen right before sleep and just playing the Switch.
Miss those days.
Those were good times, man. Fucking heart beating out of my chest. Blue shell. Fuck.
Is there anything better? Come on, man.
Only
Be a
thing
man,
that might
spook
be is
Be a man.
ranking these top 10
Let's do
duos.
it.
That might be a little bit better.
Way better.
Now we're up at night, trying to
Come up with the best
properly
sports
evaluate
takes.
Paulo
Facts.
and Franz and why they can't play together. But top 10 duos in the NBA.
Should we list honorable mentions first?
Yes, because I don't know if your honorable mentions are going to be players that I had in my top 10.
So my honorable mentions. Joel is trying to convince me not to have my
Before
number
we do
10.
honorable mentions, can we explain how we did our top 10? Because we should have done this uniform before the podcast started, but we didn't. So I feel like we're gonna have different. You know what I mean?
I do my top
variables here.
10s always the same. Who's the most talented duo? I always do that. Most talented duo plus a little bit, of course, what you've done for me on the court.
Yeah,
A big part of that.
my top two, my duo list is basically just it's kind of the same premise. It's just if I'm building a franchise, these are the two players that I want my franchise to be built around. So I take into consideration all things being equal.
All right, so let's start it off by asking, did we weigh that heavily when talking about Kevin Durant and Devin Booker?
They're an honorable mention.
I weighed that. They're not in my top 10.
They're honorable mention.
They are my number 10.
They would probably be my 11 if I had
know.
to.
Now that you mention it, I definitely forgot about them because they just suck so much.
Yeah, I get it.
But I don't know, man. Like I don't. Some games that I've watched of the Suns this year, I feel like sometimes the role players have done their jobs. I feel like it's like they don't take games over enough. Like I see SGA for OKC go on runs. I see Jalen Brunson take over down the stretch when nobody could do anything, and he's the reason why the Knicks are one of the best clutch teams in the league. With the Suns, I kind of feel like they just fold in those moments, and that includes Devin Booker and Kevin Durant.
I don't disagree. I just understand the two of them. They are still two of the most talented players of the league. We're still talking about Kevin Durant, who's still a top 10 player. We're talking about Devin Booker, who's still a top 20 at absolute floor, top 25 player in the league. The absolute minimum. Devin Booker is still one of those guys. That's why I had to respect. But my honorable mentions, I have Ja and Jaren Jackson Jr. as an honorable mention. I have Paulo and Franz as an honorable mention. And I have Harden and Kawhi as an honorable mention.
Okay. Yeah, I think part of this is also fit. That's why KD and Book, talent-wise, they could be a top 7-8 duo, just straight talent. Because you mentioned it, KD is still one of the best players in the world. And even though Booker might be having like an off year for Booker, he's still playing like an all-star level, right? He's still been really good. So talent-wise, they're there, but the fit is obvious. It doesn't work. And neither of them are probably true number ones, even though I think this list might have a couple guys that don't have a true number one on it. More than anything, bro, they're ass. Like, they're bad. This is a team that we collectively thought would be a top 6 seed pretty comfortably. We like the additions they made. And like you mentioned, Joel, it's not like they haven't had like a boatload of injuries this year. It's not like a single player, whether it's Royce O'Neal or Tyus or one of these guys, have just completely fallen off, even though we probably overrate a couple of them, like Tyus Jones, for example. Like, is he going to be a starting point guard on a real playoff team? Who knows? But the fit isn't there. They're losing. So the talent I could respect, but I can't put them in my top 10.
I understand. I do have that 10 spot as a tie with Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal and Kevin Durant and Devin Booker.
My 10 is Hallie and Siakam.
So maybe I'm missing somebody, but my 10 is Franz Wagner and Paulo Banchero.
I have them. There'd be an honorable mention as
They
well.
are an honorable
but
mention.
again, fit-wise, this shit has looked nasty so far.
Yeah, it has. I think I'm just holding on to the hope that maybe if they get shooters around them, it won't look this ugly. Because I kind of made this off of all things being equal. So what if they didn't have the worst 3-point percentage in the league? How would they look if they actually had shooters and a team that complemented them? So that's what I weighed into this with.
I get it. Listen, they wouldn't be far off my top 10. They would be in my top like 13 probably.
I agree.
But you're right. I mean, they
yeah.
really just can't. They really can't play together.
After this year, I can't.
I did weigh it on this season. There is a duo that I do have on here that is pretty Mickey Mouse, truthfully, and that is my number 9, Kyrie and Anthony Davis. As a duo, yeah, they still are one of the most talented, albeit we saw for 3 quarters, albeit we won't see it for the rest of the season. But as a duo, they still are one of the best duos in the league.
Yeah, I completely forgot about them.
Bucks
Because
are
they
bringing
just
back
they haven't played.
Take him off the list.
The Bucks are playing off bringing
bringing
him back.
him back,
Thank
yeah.
God,
Yeah.
man. He was my player that I had him going back to the Bucks.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So I will say for my 9th duo, I'm going with John Moran and Jaren Jackson Jr.
That's
Okay.
also where I have John JJJ.
Okay.
Again, the Kyrie and AD, if they were healthy, you know what I mean? They probably would be 8, they would be in this top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
But you said it. They played 3 quarters together. They weren't even really in my mind.
I understand. So my number 8 is actually Mitchell and Mobley. I think Mobley is definitely my number 2 on that team, in my opinion. Understand the leap that he's taken as an offensive player, his ability to handle the ball, his ability to attack downhill, his ability to shoot the basketball. And obviously, we're talking about one of the best, arguably the best defender in basketball. He means that much. And Donovan Mitchell, as a leader this season, has shown me more than in years past. And what he's been able to do, allow Garland to get his, allow Mobley to get his. DeAndre Hunter now gets brought onto the team. Having him get welcomed and fit in and still seamlessly work, he's been excellent. I think Donovan gets a lot of credit for that on top of being one of the best players in the association. I would have them at number 8.
8, I have Steph and Jimmy. They've been great together, but they've had such a small sample together that I don't want to put them ahead of a couple of guys that have either done it for multiple years or have done it this entire season at dominating at a high level. So the way, if we're just basing off these 10 games, who's been the best duo, we could have these guys in the top 3, the top 4.
We could.
But I'm not going to have them that high, even though there is going to be another duo later on that is going to be super high. I know who we think we're talking about, the Lakers. It's just their talent is so fucking at the top of the world that you can't really have them that low,
The Warriors have only lost 1 game with Jimmy.
Absolutely.
One game. And Steph, when Jimmy got put onto the team, is back to 2016 Steph.
He's been great.
He's been insane.
He's been great.
He's been so amazing. Who is your number 8?
I'm going with Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam.
Okay. All right.
So I think
like
they
it.
deserve a lot of respect. I think, they made the conference finals as a duo.
Talk.
And they have put out elite offenses together as a duo. And this year, they've taken a leap defensively. I look at Tyrese, who I think is one of the best pure point guards in the league. And then Pascal Siakam, who's just an all-around do-it-all forward, who's a two-way player. I think this is just such a great fit. And the Pacers have built a really good team around them, too.
Love that. Okay, my number 7 is going to be SGA and J-Dub. I do have J-Dub as that number 2. He's earned that this season. All-Star's been playing excellent basketball post All-Star break. And then SGA goes unspoken what he's been able to accomplish this season. The combination of the two together defensively as well, understanding that SGA is definitely the offense, but J-Dub now, especially recently, has been able to take over when SGA's not on the court and still assert himself. And that could also be in due part to Chet being back. There's obviously more attention being put elsewhere. But Jalen Williams, we were anticipating this player coming into the season, and he's been great overall, but especially recently, he's taken it to a whole other level.
Gonna wait a little while till you hear my Thunder duo, I think.
Yeah, I know.
Number 7, this is where I got Brunson and Cat. They've been awesome in the regular season. This has been one of the best offenses in basketball the entire year. And everything that people harp about is them against top teams. And it's fair, right? The top 3 teams in basketball, plus the Lakers now, they haven't been able to win a single game against. But these dudes give you such a high floor. What they bring you offensively is, it can't be undersold. So I can't have them quite as high as these other guys in the top 6 because I think they either bring more versatility or they've just had more success or they've had more success in the past, like in the playoffs. So they're comfortably number 7 for me.
So I'm glad I noticed this now, but Franz and Paulo are my honorable mention. Number 10 was Jaren Jackson Jr. Number 9 was Halliburton and Siakam. Number 8 is Brunson and Cat. And then number 7, which is where we're at, is Mitchell and Mobley.
Okay. I will say there's a part of me that definitely feels I gave a lot of love to Brunson and Cat. And I think a lot of that is being weighed off of what we saw.
Like you got them over SGA and J-Dub.
I know. That's kind of where I understand we have this conversation now. And that's where...
Yeah, because you haven't named them yet.
They're next.
They're next?
They're literally next. I say that where Jalen Brunson this season, he's moved me so much.
It's awesome.
He is one of the most exciting players to watch. He's one of the legitimate best players in the league as well. He's a fringe top 10 at floor top 12 player in the association. How efficient he is, both just from the field and from three-point. His ability to go downhill, and he's improved as a playmaker. Yeah, his defense isn't great. Karl Anthony Towns, his defense isn't great, but as an offensive engine, or as offensive players, the two of them, you'll be hard-pressed to find 2 better offensive players, especially as a duo. Karl Anthony Towns has been incredible this year, one of the most efficient players in basketball, one of the more dominant offensive centers in basketball as well. And I think the two of them, we've seen it translate to a top 4 offense for a good portion of this season. That's where I have them at this spot. I understand if you're going to combat it, SGA is the best player in basketball. They are the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. I just think as a duo, when you look at Brunson and you look at Karl Anthony Towns, I understand J-Dub's been great, but Karl Anthony Towns has been arguably the best center in his conference. Jalen Brunson is arguably a top 3 point guard in the league this season.
Yeah.
And I know that Steph Curry has come back and really asserted himself in that conversation 100%. I just think that Jalen Brunson these last 2 seasons has genuinely taken a firm grasp as one of the best players in basketball. And Karl Anthony Towns in a much more asked of role, he's really thrived.
So from a talent perspective, you're going with Brunson and Cat over Mitchell and Mobley.
I think Jalen Brunson's better than Donovan Mitchell.
I'm fine with that.
I think Karl Anthony Towns and Mobley, it's at least a conversation.
My issue is that Knicks duo, you're just getting offense. Like one of the reasons why they haven't been able to beat these top teams is because they're getting exposed on defense.
Yeah.
And the talent's there. I'm with you. Cat's probably been the best center. Brunson's been a top 3 point guard. He's going to be all NBA lock. But you're really only getting one side of the ball from them.
I just feel like with Cat, man, I just feel like he doesn't elevate in big moments. You know, yesterday was a very little example of it.
Microcosm.
Microcosm of it. Good job, Dehls. Thank you. Thesaurus right here. Dictionary. So
the source was good.
Yeah, either or. So Cat in overtime, when Brunson went out, bruh, Deuce McBride, the play was for Cat. And Cat is not demanding the ball. He's not going to it. He's just calling for it. And then he is going away in the shadows and not demanding the ball. Bro, Reeves is on you. Go demand and get the ball. We ended up with a Deuce McBride mid-range shot. And I'm like, bro, Cat, go and kill.
I'll say this. He didn't play well last night. He was really bad. I think he was like 3 for 13. In that game, if not 3 for 14. He really wasn't great.
I'm going to be honest, bro. I haven't enjoyed watching the Knicks this year because most of the games that I watch from them are primetime games because, I don't,
whatever.
The blackout shit really bothers me.
Blackout shit's real, man.
Yeah, it really bothers me. And
I made fun of him, but it's definitely real.
I had a subscription to MSG. It's like Gotham Sports and stuff. So I watch the games occasionally. But for the most part, I'm watching it on national television. So most of the Knicks games that I've watched this year are national TV games, and we've been embarrassed on national TV.
To watch. Yeah.
Like I'm just like, goddamn, like it's either we don't make it competitive or, you know, I thought the Lakers game was an honorable loss.
It was, absolutely.
Yes. Like if all the games on prime time ended like that.
Was 15? 14 or something like that, right?
No, yeah, we definitely were losing by 14.
Like I remember early in the season, bro, we faced the Mavericks with no Luka. They were injured and we fucking got spanked. I was just like, come on, bro.
I say in the matchup versus the Lakers, and I know that Cat's game is definitely one that's he can score from the outside better than a lot of centers can. But in that matchup, again, our defense has really done a great job of honing in on the big man. Especially you saw that against Jokic, but we saw that again last night where we just suffocate Karl Anthony Towns. We were willing to give up Jalen Brunson having a masterclass, but you can only have one of the two go off and have a chance to win. And even still, it took us right down to the wire, and it took us having to go into overtime to win that game. So you live and die by situations like that. But in yesterday's game, in the games versus Celtics, I understand where you're coming from, but they are going to try and take Cat out of the game because you feel as if we can't take Brunson out. Brunson's too consistent. He's too great. He's definitely lives for these high leverage situations. If we can hone in on Karl Anthony Towns, make him struggle, then that's where we have a great chance to win. So I can understand where you're coming from. I just think for 95% of the season, we've seen Karl Anthony Towns be one of the best players at his position this season. And I can understand, listen, I'm not tied to having them be 6. If we were going to come together and have a consensus, I understand Mitchell and Mobley. I understand SGA and J-Dub. I just think the two of them together have had the most output in terms of, I guess, counting stats. But again, for what their team, for their team, they're easily the two biggest that contribute the most. I just think OKC is so well-rounded. I think the Cavaliers are so well-rounded that if Brunson and Cat have an off night, they lose.
So your 6 is who?
My 6 is Mitchell and Mobley.
Okay.
What do you have?
My 6 is SGA and Chet. So I had SGA and Chet over Mitchell and Mobley.
So no J-Dub.
I know J-Dub's the all-star. I think Chet is better.
He is better, but he hasn't played a lot this year.
So I'm just out of curiosity. SGA, you have already said, is like the best player in the world, or he's in Jokic's tier. I think that was the argument we had, right? So SGA is already in Jokic's tier. Is it the injuries with Chet? Like, what's the reason why they're at 6 if SGA is the best player, arguably the best player in the world? They're having an historic season. Chet, when he's been on the court, has been fucking amazing. Even if you want to say J-Dub, they play both ways. They fit together. How are they at 6?
The Chet component. I think the SGA component. I think that the SGA reason is why they're so high.
It really is. That's for me as well.
If it's just because the injuries, I guess
I look at Chet. You know, Chet and Mobley. I'll go Mobley right now. Chet and Siakam. Then that's conversation. Jaren Jackson Jr. Chet. That's conversation. Cat and Chet. I think even that's a conversation.
I'm taking Chet over most of these guys.
Are you taking Chet over Cat?
I don't know. That's close.
Close. I think with Chet, it's just that component. I think, you know, the rest of the duos that I have that tier 1 player, and then I think their second player is more reliable. I think they show me more.
That's fair. Okay.
I made this list. I still feel confident in what I'm saying, but I understand where you're coming from, Dehls. Like, again, I'm not trying to be hard-headed to it. SGA is arguably the best player in the league right now.
Yeah.
You have J-Dub, who is an all-star, who has been recently one of the better 2s in the league. And even if that's the case, you want to talk about Chet Holmgren. We know what he is when he's playing, how great he is. So I understand where you're coming from, and especially because we're going to have Jamal, we're going to have Jokic high on this list, and that's really primarily, even if Jamal Murray has struggled, we have them so high because what they've accomplished, and 2, Jokic is the best in the world. So I understand. It's fair. My number 5, this is where I have Steph and Jimmy. They've lost 1 game together. And Jimmy Butler, albeit he hasn't been this all-world scorer, he hasn't been this dominant offensive player, but what he does is draw attention and take attention away from Steph Curry. Steph Curry has been unbelievable. And in this stretch, they've been one of the best defenses, but Steph Curry has been one of the 5 best in the world since Jimmy Butler has been on the court with them. They've been phenomenal. I love what I've been seeing on their defense, but again, it's just another guy that can handle the ball, that can create for themselves, that can actually get any type of attention away from Steph. But why I really have to give them respect, because Steph is back. He has been incredible. The efficiency has been stupid. Just every single night you see him touch the basketball, he's just taking over games, and they're able to win them, especially against some solid competition. I got to give them the respect here. And Jimmy, He's not a slouch.
No.
He's far from it. He's still one of the better players in the league, albeit he has had his issues this year, both on and off the court. I think when you get a locked-in Jimmy Butler, you still know what you're getting. So I have to respect them, and I'm going to have them at number 5.
5, I have Giannis and Dame. This is one of them that I was.
We spoke about this. This is low.
That is low.
This is where I was thinking about having a couple spots higher, a couple spots lower. I just think all the 4 duos I have above them have either accomplished something, they have a championship together, them as a collective, just their talent is better than Giannis and Dame, or right now they're just putting up better seasons. Like I don't want to spoil too. I have SJ and Chet above them right now. Thunder are the number 1 seed, they're dominating right now. Right?
Chet
if you want to say, okay, fine, SJ and J-Dub, you could put J-Dub there too.
That's still high.
You could put J-Dub there too, and I'm fine with it because these are guys that are playing every single night. They're giving you something on both sides of the ball. The fit is together, and it's really maybe not that fair because last season Giannis got hurt, and if Giannis stays healthy and you have Dame, what happens in this playoffs? I don't know. But we're also looking at them, and it's not all because of the duo, right? I think we recognize the team.
The idea
the team has issues.
Calm it down.
The team's got
Calm
issues.
it down, buddy.
But they haven't done shit yet. You know what I mean? Like they haven't done shit.
The idea of them.
What have the OKC done?
They're having an historic regular season.
A regular season. I watched the Suns have a historic regular season. They lost in the
What
second
have the Bucks
round.
done? What has Dame and Giannis done?
They were a top 3 seed, and Giannis got hurt.
They weren't having an historic season. They were a top 3 seed.
They weren't. And listen, I'm not going to minimize what OKC is doing. They've been amazing. But your 2 is Chet, who hasn't been a part of this historic season.
I get it. Okay, that's fine. When I'm thinking duo, I was kind of thinking the 2 best players on the team. If you want to say the 2 best players this season because of the injuries, fine.
Yes.
But also, when Chet's been on the court, he's been an animal.
He's been good.
I just don't
good.
know if
Really
I could
good.
I think an SJ and Giannis component, I think that cancels out. I favor SGA over Giannis. That's how much I love SGA.
I hate you.
I think the Chet over Dame component is where I can't get behind.
I can't get behind it either, bro. Dame's
That's
been
fair.
locked.
No, Dame's been amazing this year.
Dame's been locked.
Like,
Who's
even
your
J-Dub over Dame, I can't get behind
that either.
Yeah. No.
I listen. I'm not going to sit here and argue that they've been having better seasons. This is as a duo.
As a duo, is Chet and is SGA and J-Dub better than Jimmy and Steph?
It's close. It's close.
If you replace,
But I think the Thunder are better.
The Thunder are better by far.
The Thunder are better.
The team is better. The Thunder are better.
I'm sorry, I didn't even mean the Thunder. I meant the duo is better. Like I think they're better.
I don't think that if you replace SGA and Chet with Giannis and Dame have this OKC roster, you lose any confidence in the team. I think you might gain a little bit more confidence.
I'll be honest, that team's still title favorites.
On a deep playoff run.
I don't disagree.
I mean, if you put
listen,
Steph and Jimmy on that OKC team, I still think they're title favorites.
They're 2 spots away from each other. You know what I mean?
No, I
Just
understand.
Chet, like I'm not. They don't got like some 5-team gap. It's one of them. There's only one thing in between. You know what I mean? I think.
Who's your number?
Like I said, real quick. Like I said,
That's fair.
There's multiple things going into this, right? Talent is part of it.
The Giannis fans.
Talent is part of it, but it's also what have you done together as a duo, right? And it's also how do you fit? I think SGA and J-Dub or SGA and Chet, however you want to put it, I think all 3 of those components, I get it, they haven't done anything in the postseason, but the regular season, they're doing shit we really haven't seen.
Well, some will say that when something hasn't been done yet and it's just a thought, it's an idea.
I'm going to ignore that. You're going to have Jokic and Jamal over them.
I have Jokic and Jamal at 4.
Jamal has been inconsistent as hell this season.
But this is a duo. Who's your 5? Before we go on, who's your 5?
Okay, my 5 is Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. That's my number 4.
It's just what they play 10 games.
They've lost one.
I get it.
Luka and LeBron are going to be top 3.
My number 4 though is Jokic and Murray. And to your Jamal Murray
respect,
thing,
I agree.
I don't think Jamal Murray's been the problem. I think the problem has been the other players.
I think you and I are going to have the same top 5.
We might have the same list,
dude. But
it's really just the games played. And listen, LeBron and Luka are going to be top 2 to me because it's fucking LeBron and Luka. You know what I mean? Like,
it's Steph.
It's Steph. And it's Jimmy Butler.
Easy. That's disrespectful.
Brother, we're comparing Jimmy Butler to LeBron and Luka. Can we be serious? Can we be serious?
Hey, there are a significant
There's
amount of spots.
multiple tiers between them.
I'm not going to disagree.
Like maybe 3 or 4 tiers.
I'm all right. They respect Steph Curry. He still carries.
No, Curry's for sure.
But that's kind of like SGA. Because SGA carries the duo.
He does.
And Jimmy Butler, you could still argue in a vacuum,
they've
still
had
better
years
than
together.
J-Dub.
And there's years where I know they've 2 years now where they have shown to be a dominant team.
Dehls, they've lost one game.
I get it, but we're talking about a 10-game sample size compared to 2 whole regular seasons, bro.
Oh my! I get where you're coming from. I genuinely do. I understand. But then why isn't Giannis and Dame higher?
They're 5.
They've been together for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Talent-wise, they're still better than SJ and J-Dub.
First year, they don't play well together, though.
They didn't
fine,
play, and
agreed.
this year they're great. They're the fucking 4 seed in the East.
They
Or the
are, but
5,
they've
or the
been
5
great.
seed. They're a game out of the
They've
5.
been
They
great.
basically they're in between 4 to 6.
But the
That's
two
what
of
I'm
them
saying, bro.
have
Like,
been
they're
great.
fourth,
I don't disagree. And listen, I'm not trying to take anything away from Giannis and Dame because it's obvious they are not the problem with the team, right? They're not I agree. They were on OKC. OKC would still be having a great
Unless you
fucking
look at the
historic
2023
year.
playoffs, Giannis offensively was a problem for them.
He was. Seahawks
If
just
Drew
traded
Holiday
Geno
could
Smith to the Raiders.
Really?
Wow.
Okay, we got to talk about that. Oh, I love that.
Wow.
Geno Smith. Tom Brady, baby. He's a ball knower.
Damn.
Tom Brady knows ball.
No.
Tom Brady knows ball.
No.
Hold on. Brock Bowers to the moon.
Tom Brady knows ball.
Brock
Damn
Bowers
it.
to the moon is right.
Oh my God, that just blew my
3rd round picks going to Seattle. Wow.
Third?
So, 3rd.
That's a steal.
That's a lick,
That's
yeah.
a steal.
Damn.
I'm so upset. This is what Bo Nix does to a division.
No, so Bo Nix is the worst quarterback in that division now.
Yeah. Do we want to knock off these top 4 and then get to
Let's
the
respect. We've been having a good segment. We'll
Yeah.
talk about that next. Okay.
Yeah, we will. So, okay.
Your
so,
number 5 was Steph and Jimmy.
Yeah, I have Jokic and Murray at 4.
I
So do I.
also have Jokic and Murray at 4.
I think it's the Murray component. Last year I would have put them they would have been top 3 or top 2,
Yes.
honestly, because we didn't have LeBron or Luka. But I think number 3 for me is Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
This motherfucker got
Just
it.
because Jaylen Brown, I think he just carries a lot of weight in the discussion versus Jamal Murray coming off that Finals MVP.
You know,
Jaylen Tatum is a
Better
great player too.
Someone
Clear as
tweeted this
Murray.
to me when I did the duo. It said everyone's always better than Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum till it's time to be better than Jaylen
You
Brown.
got the
and
best
Jason Tatum.
players, bro.
He commented that to Swiper, right? He got him.
I thought, oh yeah, he did. He did.
He
Facts.
got
Swiper
him.
replied to me. Yeah. I was like, damn, he cooked.
No, he got it.
3, I have SJ and Chet at 3.
Yeah, that's
Jalen Brunson
high.
out 2 weeks.
All right, that's
Not
a
the end of the
W.
world.
That's a W.
SJ and Chet number 3 to me, man.
That's high, dude.
They're 3.
That's fucking
You
high.
could, if you want to, you could put Jokic and Murray over them. I wouldn't be mad. But other than that, I don't
Giannis
think
and Dame, dude.
Seattle is setting its sight for Sam Darnold. Okay.
Seattle's cooked. They realize it.
Trade.
They realize it that they're cooked. It's
That's-
crazy because they
that's
choked
bad.
the playoffs last
That's
year.
bad.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, oh my God, I can't. Oh wait, I can't wait to talk about it. Wow, that's stupid.
All right, my 3 is Tatum and Brown. Jaylen Brown hasn't been what I wanted and anticipated
These
this
dudes,
season.
these dudes live in the ECF every single
There's
year.
no way you
they
can
live in the
convince me
finals
that, bro.
every single year.
Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown aren't a better duo than Giannis and Dame.
Yeah.
No
Okay.
way.
What happened the last time they fucking? Or I'm sorry, Dame
They
wasn't there.
never
My
played.
bad. We just
And
smoked.
Middleton
Yeah.
wasn't there either.
My bad. You're right.
What's a
Jason Tatum
7?
just outplayed Giannis. I'd be forgetting that shit.
No,
Oh,
he
no,
didn't.
but here's the thing.
No,
You're
Giannis
gonna-
outplayed him.
No, in the most important games, yeah, Game 6 he did, and then Game 7, you know what happened?
Game 7, it was a Grant Williams masterclass.
Game 6 was a coin flip. They both balled.
Tatum.
Yeah, no, I think Giannis
shit
and
moved me. That's when I
Giannis
was
and Dame
here.
are my number 2.
Mine too.
The highest scoring duo in the league. I
Tweak.
think it's just really the roster around
Tweak.
them that it might not be championship caliber, but hey, listen, that's where their superstar talent has to reign supreme.
Can Tatum even hang with Giannis?
Yeah, he's out-dueled him in
Be
the
honest.
playoffs.
Be honest. Band for band, player for player. Come on.
Give me Tatum.
You're lying.
No, I mean I'd have Giannis like 3 in the world right now, 2.
And
3 in
then
the
this season, Dame's been better than JB.
world.
this
sure,
year.
sure,
This
that's
year.
fine. I'm not really that worried about Jaylen Brown.
I don't me too. You know I'm still here.
It's Jaylen Brown.
I love him.
He's a Finals MVP.
He is.
Finals MVP.
And ECF MVP.
When
Can't forget that.
When this guy's
Tatum
locked
couldn't
in,
get either.
When this guy's locked in, he's one of the best
Tatum has
defenders
won
in the world.
ECF MVP. Though.
That's true.
He
That's
does,
true.
yes.
And honestly, if
First
we're
year.
being transparent, that one should be at Jaylen Brown's crib.
Oh, so are we just like taking
Maybe.
everything
The
away from Tatum?
Pacers ECF MVP
Tatum's.
should be at Tatum's.
Yeah, I mean, regardless. My 2 is Luka and LeBron. My 1's Tatum and Brown.
Well, number 1 is easy Luka
It's
and LeBron.
easily Luka.
I think it's pretty easy.
We're talking about 2 of the greatest offensive players of all time on the same team. LeBron James is playing defense again. Luka Doncic, maybe he's not the world's best defender, but he's passable, and he's also on the defense that is, at this current moment, the
numbers
best
back it up.
defense in the league.
He's a good defender. And Luka, he he can match up with anybody. I think he's the second best player in the world. I'd have him number 2. And I think he's in that tier. He equals out and cancels out all those 4 players. And I think, if the cards are right, he could take that crown. It could have been last season if he capped it off with the NBA Finals. I think we'd be talking about Luka right now as the best player in the world over Jokic.
Yeah, but that shit wasn't close, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's because he didn't have the roster. He was
just inefficient.
No, and
he turned the ball over.
What
and he
about
wasn't
Kyrie? Kyrie didn't play well in that series. Yeah, they didn't shoot well in that series.
What about PJ Washington, the needle mover? He was dog shit.
Great scheme by Mazzulla.
Talk.
I mean, come on, man. Luka carried that roster to the finals, and that roster was all around good.
Why'd you take them?
You're
That's because you want to know why, Dehls? Because I'm not. Even if it means I will be defeated, I will not bet against Luka Doncic.
Okay.
I hope you understand that.
I mean, to each their own.
And listen, it was a 5-game series. Could have easily been a 6-game series if Game 3 went a little bit differently.
He's right. Game 3 could have gone a little bit differently.
And
is that the game Luka fouled out?
That was the tantrum.
And if Kyrie played better, it could have been a 7-game series.
If Luka didn't foul out, you could have won the game.
Yeah, it's
just
a possibility.
unfortunately did.
No, but listen, Luka cancels out with any of the top players in the world. And then LeBron, he just clears everybody else. And 40. I think that's why this duo is by far and away the best duo.
I think they're in a tier of their own. Luka and LeBron just, again, played 12 games together, 15 games together?
And what do you have? 2?
2.
Okay, so 15 games, but there's still 2.
That's why I respected them.
So where is Jimmy and Steph?
There are 8.
That's insane.
Yeah, honestly, right now the Lakers are a conference finals threat. One offseason with LeBron coming back next year as well, and they get a center. That's a finals team. They're
a finals team right now.
You think they're a finals team right now?
I think them and the Thunder 2 best teams. I think that's the WCF.
Yeah, I think it's close. I just think,
They scare me. I'm not going to say they don't. They scare me.
I just OKC just has certain personnel that, I think that match was really tough. Mm-hmm. But, no, the Lakers are, I think, as long as LeBron doesn't fall off, which, he hasn't shown any signs to, next year this team could be hosting up that trophy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm just saying year 40, he wins a championship. It's done.
What?
It's done.
GOAT?
The GOAT debate.
I think he's the GOAT. You don't got to convince me.
But no, I think that to the boomers,
I'll be honest, bro. I don't think so.
Even with a 5th
I think if you're up till this point and you still don't think LeBron's the GOAT, realistically, bro, he's got to go back to back.
I won't lie. When Stephen A. Smith said, "I'll go one step further," I'm ready to never talk about this again. I won.
That's why I feel like there's so much that LeBron has now that the only thing Jordan fans can say is 6-0. He never lost. That's it. And the debate's stupid because fucking LeBron's gone to more. He's won. You know what I mean? So it's dumb.
I think what moves me more than anything is that he went 6-0 and retired after his 6th championship at 34. Mm-hmm. LeBron is 40. That is a 6-year difference.
It's a fact.
That is insanity.
It's not like Jordan, he's obviously in the tier, but it's just
no. Of course.
It's
listen, LeBron James is my guy. I'll never love another player the way I love LeBron. I acknowledge Michael Jordan. That dude.
Good for you, bro.
My God.
Good for you.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
I'm acknowledging Michael Jordan.
Not a lot of LeBron fans would.
True. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of fucking dumb fans with all the respect.
As casual as it sounds, listen, The Last Dance, I feel like as a LeBron
version of that.
We're going to get it. It's going to be viral. As a LeBron fan, every LeBron fan needs to do their due diligence and watch The Last Dance multiple times. So you can genuinely, because you weren't there.
Is that the best sports doc ever?
There's no close second.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
No close second. If you call yourself a LeBron fan, you need to at least teach yourself what Jordan was doing, and not just on the basketball court, what he meant to uplifting the NBA, what he meant to getting the game global, his shoe deals, how great he was at marketing, everything. You need to understand how he impacted not just the game on the court, but off the court. If you call yourself a LeBron fan, you need to do that. So you can actively at least understand, I know the information for both. Mm-hmm. And this is why I choose LeBron James, or this is why I choose Jordan. If you weren't alive then, because how can you know? You're just talking nonsense and you're just going off what you haven't seen, which I think is ignorant.
Yeah. All right. Sam Darnold, Geno Smith.
I would love to say one thing and one thing only. Bo Nix terrifies the future of the AFC West.
What's that doing, man?
It's genuine. It's sincere. Year 1, we've already made the playoffs. This is while having $80 million dead cap. He's changed our franchise. More importantly, I would be damned if I didn't say, Sean Payton, I love you. I don't care if people hate you, Sean. I would never hate you as long as you're my head coach. They love to hate you, but damn it, I love to love you. It brings fear into the division. If that's what people don't want to hear, I don't care. We're gonna have money to spend next year. The Raiders realize we got Bo Nix, we got Justin Herbert, but we got that demon in Kansas City. And although they're trading pieces, they got rid of Joe Tooney.
They'll win 13 games.
I still think they're still gonna win the division.
Yeah.
You have Harbaugh. You have to fear what they're going to do. They have money to spend. They're obviously gonna make some moves to be better. The Raiders had to do something. They can't just lag behind and do nothing. They know, especially with Brady as one of the owners of the team, they have to go out there and put pieces together to be respectable. I think getting Geno Smith, you have Brock Bowers, you have Jacoby Myers. You're going to go ahead and draft a running back. I think that's obvious. You bring in Pete Carroll. It makes sense why he would bring in Geno Smith too, obviously. They have strong rapport from their time in Seattle. Pete Carroll and Geno Smith, the two of them blossomed together. And Pete Carroll was already stamped, but the fact that he put his faith in Geno Smith, was willing to trade Russell Wilson, or at least put his stamp on that, and Geno Smith play the way that he played, 30 touchdowns in a season. Got to give you respect. You're a Smithian. I definitely see the light on Geno Smith, although this wasn't his best year statistically, I could say, but that offensive line was putrid.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
100%.
Stats do lie. And
100%.
Geno Smith was not as bad as the numbers say. He will be good with the Raiders.
Yeah, I think
Like
with
Giannis and Dame, most points are the best duo. Okay, go ahead.
Just like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, huh?
What?
I don't know, man.
I was getting wrapped up in
anything to
a
say.
tweet right there that I was tweeting because this is a massive move. And Geno Smith, I think his stats over the last 2 seasons have not reflected the play that I've seen on film and on the field from him. I think a lot of his turnovers really aren't his fault. If you look at PFF and his turnover-worthy play percentage, he ranks amongst the lowest quarterbacks. I think this is ironic. We just had Nick Benito on the show, and I asked him about Geno Smith's pocket presence, and now he's going to face him twice a year, and he's going to recognize that Geno Smith elite pocket presence, baby. But, first of all, let's just go over the trade details. I really have a rant that I want to get into, but I just want to go over the details first. Geno Smith has been traded to the Las Vegas Raiders. A 3rd-round pick goes to the Seattle Seahawks. And now the Raiders, instead of Gardner Minshew being the starting quarterback, they have Geno Smith. Geno Smith is a great quarterback. Geno Smith, I think, is a better investment than signing Sam Darnold long-term to whatever contract he was going to get. Geno Smith still, I believe, has about 2 years of high-level quarterback play in him. And with the Seahawks, he had no offensive line. He had no running game. He had receivers, that is a fact. But his offensive coordinator, Ryan Grubb, this past year, he came from college, and I don't think he put Geno in the best position. You now go to the Raiders where you reunite with Pete Carroll. You have a good offensive line. You have weapons. I think they're going to get a running back, and they're going to have a running game. Chip Kelly's the OC. Chip Kelly, whatever you can say about him, I think his system that he runs is a very quarterback-friendly system. But I'm just really thinking about this offensive line. No disrespect to Charles Cross, because Charles Cross had a fantastic season.
Solid player.
He's not Colton Miller.
Nope.
Colton Miller is a shut-down left tackle pass protector. Now Geno Smith does not have to worry about a putrid offensive line. You have Jackson Powers Johnson. You also have Alex Kappa, who they signed from the Bengals, who, when he's healthy, is a good guard. The Raiders have a much better offensive line than the Seattle Seahawks. And while they might not have JSN and DK Metcalf, they have Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers, and they could still add to that because they have a lot. You can argue, and they have a lot of cap space. So I love this situation for Geno. Geno's on a prove-it deal. This the last year of his contract, so this means that the Raiders don't have to invest into him long-term. It's a prove-it year. And I'm sure Tom Brady had an influence on this decision. I'm sure that he saw Geno Smith and Darnold play, and he thinks that Geno Smith is a much better quarterback. This is no disrespect to Sam Darnold, because I think Sam Darnold had an awesome season where he was resurrected. And I think in a good situation, in a good infrastructure, Sam Darnold can be an awesome quarterback. But, man, what the hell are the Seahawks doing? DK Metcalf's on the trade block. I agreed with them cutting Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett's not the same player that he once was. But the Seahawks don't have an offensive line. They have a talented running back who they can't run the ball with because their offensive line is so bad. You're about to trade DK Metcalf, and you might think JSN is a better receiver than him now. I don't think that's a crazy take, but DK Metcalf still takes a lot of attention away from the defense.
Sure.
Now you only have one receiving option. You don't have no tight end that's a reliable option. And Sam Darnold, if they go out and pivot and sign Sam Darnold to a multi-year deal because he's younger than Geno, that's a mistake. This is a night and day situation from the Vikings situation. With Minnesota, he had an average offensive line. He had great receivers. He at least had an average running game. And he had a great to elite level play caller. With the Seahawks, all those things are in question. No offensive line, no running game, only one receiver, a play caller that is unproven in Clint Kubiak, who has had some nice moments, but has not shown a full year of calling plays at an elite level. Sam Darnold going to the Seahawks, I don't know what the Seahawks are doing. They're going backwards. If they do go that route, I just don't see it. And I think Sam Darnold, in order for him to maintain his level of production, he needs to go to another great situation. And the Seahawks are not that. I think if he goes to the Seahawks, he is going to get exposed. With all due respect, he is going to get exposed. He is going to look bad because the deficiencies that Geno Smith masked this past season, Sam Darnold wouldn't be able to mask. I don't care about the numbers. You can tell me Sam Darnold had more yards, more passing touchdowns. I don't care about the numbers. Geno Smith last year, I believed, played with a dog shit situation and made it at least serviceable. Sam Darnold, when we saw defenses finally start game planning for him at a different level, he folded with the Vikings. He was the biggest reason for their demise. This is a 14-win team we're talking about. He wasn't able to uplift a good situation, and now you're telling me I'm expecting him to go to a bad situation to uplift that? I don't think it's a good fit, and I think the Seahawks would be idiots if they pivoted from Geno to Sam.
Yeah, I knew the Raiders were going to make some move at quarterback because even though I don't think it's because of Bo Nix, I do think they look at that division as a whole and say, we need a quarterback to be at least third in this division, let alone be in first and second place, because Denver just showed last year that at a baseline, we're a team that's going to be winning 9 to 10 games every single year. And if we add pieces to this offense, if we add pieces to the run game, Bo Nix develops, we could be in competition with the Chargers for second place and who knows, win 11 plus games. So I knew they were going to make a move. Actually, in the free agent predictions, I had them going out and getting Sam Darnold, right? Of course, we talked in the past, Sam Darnold and Pete Carroll having the USC connection. The dots lined up there, but the dots line up a lot easier when you just go and get Geno Smith, your old quarterback from the Seattle Seahawks. For the Raiders' perspective, it makes all the sense in the world. A third-round pick for a proven quarterback who Joel has mentioned. This has not been a situation that like Sam Darnold was just perfect, where you had a great offensive line and everything going for you. He has definitely dealt with some pretty shitty situations, and he's still been able to lead this team to the playoffs in a division that hasn't been easy, right? The 49ers have been one of the best teams in football. I know they've been banged up this year. The Cardinals, when Kyler's on the field, has been scrappy, and we know what the Rams are when they're healthy too. So he's competed in a really good division and has played high-level football at quarterback. So you already have some pieces on the offense, right? You talked about Colton Miller. You have Brock Bowers, of course, who is breaking out to be arguably the best tight end in football right now. And even the receivers in Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker are more than serviceable, especially if you add a wide receiver too and you kind of have Tucker as your 3. I think that's an offense that is probably more well-rounded than what Seattle had. And especially when you I was about to say Josh Jacobs. I'm bugging. Definitely need to add a running back. You mentioned that, Drew. Definitely need to add a running back. Ashton Genty has been someone that they've been mocked to at pick 6. And I know for sure Pete Carroll is going to bring someone in, whether that's free agency, but more likely the draft with just all the pieces that you have. For Seattle, it's a bit of a head scratcher because you do have to think, right? This was a previous-ish regime, right? When you had Pete Carroll there, previous regime in general, he was the one making a lot of the roster decisions. So Pete Carroll was definitely a Geno Smith guy, right? Like when you move off Russell Wilson, he had Geno Smith in mind as someone that can take over, even though they traded for Drew Lock. And we had some comments that I regret saying about Drew Lock. But Pete Carroll really likes Geno Smith. So this is, once Mike McDaniel gets there, I do think he's a good head coach, but he's also a defensive-minded head coach. And I thought he showed last year, especially down the stretch, the defense did get better. They had some deficiencies, like as a run-stopping unit, but it did feel like he really honed in on defense, and I feel comfortable with him being the head coach of the team. On offense, though, we have seen a countless amount of coordinators who are countless amount of head coaches who are defensive-minded kind of screw up offense, whether that's not investing heavily in it, whether that's missing on quarterbacks, missing on offensive play callers. So I do get a bit fearful that this is what is happening here because you are moving off DK. It looks like, of course, you just moved off Geno Smith. And I like Clint Kubiak, right? When he showed those first couple of weeks when everyone was healthy with the Saints, it was awesome. It was a light show. They were the number one offense in football, but it was for 2 weeks, right? And then once the injuries started to pile up, especially to Derek Carr, the offense fell off as you would expect. But I think it's fair to still call it a bit of a question mark. It's a bit of a head scratcher because Seattle, while they're not a playoff lock by any means, or they're not a team that we're looking at they could win the division, even though maybe they had an outside chance with a couple good free agency moves and draft decisions. You still had a pretty good baseline of like, if everyone's healthy and, you get a second year in this defensive system and maybe you get an upgraded offense, an offensive play caller, maybe we could, compete with the Rams or the 49ers. Cause I don't think it's going to take more than like maybe 11 wins to get this division. I don't know if San Francisco.
10 games.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
They won the same amount of games as the Rams. The Rams just had the tiebreaker over them.
Yep.
This is a team that they won 10 games. They needed to add to their roster. And I don't think Geno was the problem. I think maybe the extension talks are the reason why they moved him. But, I think PFF does a better job of just the raw number stats to showcase quarterback play and just offensive grade in general. Now, looking at it, Geno Smith was the 9th ranked offensive grade quarterback according to PFF. Sam Darnold was number 13. So PFF, based off, and if you're unfamiliar with the process for the audience listening, how PFF grades this stuff, they have somebody watch every single play and they give it a grade. So, obviously that is more, that is a better process than just looking at the raw stats and what they say. But looking at Geno Smith, his big time throws this year, he had 28. Darnold had 34. So Darnold had more big time throws. Turnover worthy plays, Geno Smith had 18 turnover worthy plays. Sam Darnold had 27. And Geno, he only had 18 turnover worthy plays on the season. And you look at his interception total, he had 15 this past year.
Unlucky, yeah.
So he just got really unlucky with his interceptions, So Geno, I will say this, Geno in the red zone was definitely awful. I think Geno in the red zone, he made a lot of bad decisions. But overall, Geno was a very safe quarterback. And Darnold, he wasn't.
You're taking a risk.
Yeah.
Seattle's taking a big risk because I think their frame of mind is Geno Smith is 33, 34 years old. He's not the long-term answer at quarterback. We can get a 3rd round pick, a day 2 pick who maybe turns into a starter, and we could go sign Sam Darnold, who is probably going to be more just as expensive, but you theoretically have more upside because he's younger and he has traits and he's more mobile than Geno. But it's you're lowering your floor, and I don't think the ceiling rises that much because I do think Kevin O'Connell in that offensive system was really helping him out.
Yeah, you're really just not going to find a quarterback better than Geno Smith on the market. Like Sam Darnold is the best one. Maybe they pivot to like Aaron Rodgers, right? I think Geno's still better than Aaron Rodgers right now. It's just, this is a clear downgrade. I think this is just a clear bad move by Seattle. And I think the Raiders, like just giving up a 3rd round pick for a proven quarterback who's a starter. I mean, my goodness. Now they just have to fill out the team. I think the offense for the most part is there. The defense has a long way to go, and they gotta overhaul that. But Pete Carroll is making a clear move to say, listen, I know I'm not going to be coaching 10 years. This is a 2-year window for me, and I'm trying to win. And he went out and got a quarterback that can win games.
I'll say this on behalf of Seattle and their future. Geno Smith was getting up there. He was going to command a lot of money.
I think Kevin's sick.
I think Kevin is mad.
Does he like Geno?
He loves Geno.
Yeah, that sucks.
I understand all Seattle fans loving Geno. I think your long-term vision needs to be Geno Smith was due for a contract. He was going to want a lot of money. We are not a championship team yet. If that's the case, we get a 3rd round pick, albeit maybe not the best compensation in the world, but think about where you started with Geno Smith. The fact that he blossomed into anything was a miracle, and the fact that he was really great his first season with Seattle, not so great the following, it's obviously unfortunate, but you were able to get a decent return. Geno Smith was not going to be a championship caliber Super Bowl quarterback. He was not going to be that. Your team is pieces away. You weren't bad by any means last year, but your offensive line needs help. It would be hard to pay Geno to then go out there and now let's bring an offensive lineman. Now we really have to hit in the draft. And then obviously we have a defensive coach who wants to make that their identity. It's hard to balance the two. I think when you're trying to think of the long-term vision, you trade Geno, you move off of him, you have a bridge quarterback in Sam Darnold. Hopefully the years aren't insane. If they go and sign to a big contract, everything I just said, take it, crumble it up, throw it away.
It might just be like a 3-year deal.
But if this
or
is a bridge quarterback contract, now I'm really interested in what the future holds for Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know about the Sam Darnold component, like if they're going to go after him or not. I know I'm kind of down talking Sam Darnold, and I apologize for that because I don't know.
Sam Darnold guy.
I don't know if that's the move they're going to pivot to.
That's what Rossini was.
I just think overall, unless your clear pathways just to be a worse team, this makes sense. Like if you're trying to be bad and you're trying to be a worse team, this makes sense. If you're looking at Shador falling in the draft or Jackson Dart and drafting him and that's your quarterback, okay, that makes sense. But I mean, moving off of Geno Smith, man, I don't think not paying him improves the offensive line just because they weren't able to get the offensive line right anyway. Whether it's been Russell Wilson or Geno Smith on his contract, that was a steal at the time. John Schneider has just not been able to figure out offensive linemen. So maybe this 3rd round pick helps that. But man, I didn't think this team was that far away. Like, they just won 10 games, and Geno Smith, for being this like quarterback who blossomed late, last 3 seasons, 9-8, 9-8, 10-7. Mm-hmm. He hasn't had a losing season as a quarterback in a situation that
good division and not a amazing roster. By
his first 2 years in Seattle, no defense at all. Their defense was bad. This was the first year he had a good defense, and the offense fell off. So I look at Geno as a winning quarterback, and it just all matters about situation. And let's see what the Raiders do. They have a lot of flexibility to make things interesting.
They do.
Yeah.
Wow.
That
what
was
a trade.
Bombshell.
It's really nuts, man.
Geno
I can't
Smith.
believe the fear that Bo Nix puts into the rest of these GMs.
Geno Smith broke the NFL world, man. I love Geno.
I will say I love recently moves being made that nobody sees coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Joe Thuney getting traded, nobody saw coming. Geno Smith getting traded, I didn't know he was available. I love that we get moves like this because, again, it's kind of whack when inevitably that it's going to happen. You know that they're going to get traded like Devontae Adams last year. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You knew he was going to be a Jet. Takes away
when it takes a while, it sucks.
Facts. It's just like, all right, it happened. Cool.
That's why the Lucas shit was so crazy. Because number 1 is Luka, but number 2 it's like, huh?
The NFL is, trying to get up there with the NBA with the trades and transactions.
Yeah.
That's
League
why
year hasn't even started yet.
NFL trade deadline's not horrible anymore.
No, it's not terrible.
CMC got traded at the deadline. That was ridiculous.
So the Bears made one of those moves you're talking about. They traded for Joe Thuney. And now after trading for Joe Thuney and Jonah Jackson, they have $48 million in cap space. They have 8 draft picks, 2 in the second round. What are the next moves that you want them to make? What do you think is really missing from the Bears that could complete this offseason?
I still think they need, to complete this offseason, I go to the draft. I think that you made essential moves to better your offensive line. I think obviously Jonah Jackson working his way back, that was just a nice piece for depth. You bring in Joe Thuney, hey, that's a legitimate move. Now you have one of the best guards in football, and you want to build from the interior outside, which makes sense. I still think at pick 10, it's still wise to target offensive line because it seems as if that's what Ben Johnson's vision is. He knows that is how they were able to thrive in Detroit. He wants to carry over that philosophy to Chicago, and I think that's extremely smart. You have a franchise guy in Caleb Williams who you believe can take you to places that you haven't been before. The best way to do that is to protect him. How do you also do that? By building a strong run game to work off that. And when you have Caleb Williams and obviously his out of structure abilities and his ability to get outside the pocket and make insane throws, you want to have a great run game that can go and have the defenses that you're going up against guessing. So how do you do that? At pick 10, I still would invest in offensive line. I still believe that is your best route. You're still going to get one of the best tackles in football because that is what you're still missing. Darnell Wright, he's still young. He's still someone that you can have faith in, that he can still potentially one day be a solid starting right tackle in this league. But I still think you need to protect Caleb Williams' blind side. You can address that with pick 10. In the second round, you need to make sure you go out there and get a running back. DeAndre Swift last season, I understand that he has not been a good running back these last couple of years. Last year, he was not horrible. He's not great. You will draft a running back in day 2. I firmly believe that. You should do that. It would be irresponsible not to. But DeAndre Swift was not dog shit last year. I just want to get that out the way. That being said, you go and you bring in a running back. Obviously, you want to make sure that, again, you can have something to work off. You have Roma Dunze. You have DJ Moore, the 2 wide receivers in this. You have good skill position players also. We can't forget about Cole Kmet. So you have weapons there. You need a running back that you can go out there and have some a safety blanket in that regard. On the defensive side, you still do need defensive linemen on top of Montez Sweat. I still think that they have ways to go in that regard. You want to get more pressure on the quarterback. I think that that's an avenue that they can address. Wouldn't be shocked if they're also one of the out of nowhere guys in the name for a Trey Hendrickson or for potentially Myles Garrett. If they really want to go ahead and make a swing, they're also one of the teams that can go ahead and do that very quietly. I know everybody talks about Washington because Myles keeps talking about wanting to go to Washington, but Chicago has the money. They can go out there and they have the assets to go out there and bring in a Myles Garrett into the building. And now we're talking about that defense completely different. But I still think that you go long-term vision. You go ahead and you make the moves to the offensive line and really that offense, because that's what Ben Johnson is a guru at. And, of course, with Caleb Williams, you want to make sure that you're putting him in position to succeed. So that's what I would do. I still believe that it is possible to see them make one more crazy groundbreaking move. Again, Joe Thuney, for me, was one of the craziest, most shocking moves of the offseason so far. But I still think they have one more up their sleeve.
Yeah, I think the shocking move that would be really cool is if they moved up in the draft. They have this extra second-round pick. I think we talked about that earlier in the show. They have pick 39 and 41 in the second round. Travis Hunter's a guy that I think would fit perfectly for them. I do think they could use a second corner opposite of Jalen Johnson. And one of their needs is wide receiver 3. Keenan Allen's going to be walking in free agency. They don't really have anyone to replace him. And Travis Hunter, we know, is going to be most likely a corner and part-time receiver. He's someone that can be a part-time receiver that you're not relying on to be your 1 or your 2 because you have DJ Moore and Roma Dunze there. So he can have a smaller role but still have a high impact because he's such a great receiver that he is. They need a center. Their center from last season is a free agent. So even though they're upgrading their offensive line, especially at the guard position, they just don't really have a center on the roster right now. And running back also on offense, I think it's a big need. DeAndre Swift is 20th best running back.
Was he dog shit last year is all I'm asking.
He's not someone I want to be my workworkhorse. He's not someone I want to be my RB1. He was the best
offensive player last year.
I just looked at DeAndre Swift too many times run into like defenders.
He's just his vision's not good.
Line wasn't great.
I just don't think he's like he's not an RB1. He's not an RB1.
There's no
so
argument.
With all the running backs in this class too, I don't see a world where they're leaving without at least competition for him.
100%. But let's just leave it at this and we'll move on. Was he dog shit last year? No.
Like he's probably not top 20 running back.
That's not what I'm asking because
He's pretty bad.
Well, what's dog shit?
Was he bad last year?
He wasn't good.
There are like 30 running backs that are better.
He
than DeAndre
started the
Swift.
season horrendously.
Yeah, he
He
wasn't
really
great.
kicked it up.
He wasn't great, man. He did have some game. He did have some games. He definitely did.
I'm gonna be honest. I think there are like 30 running backs better than DeAndre Swift.
There's a chance.
Okay, let's just start. James Cook.
There's a chance.
James Cook.
Oh, come on.
Let's rip off the easy ones.
Just can you
Rip
count?
off- yeah,
Can you
yeah.
count? Okay, is Ray Davis better? I'm so serious.
Let's get the easy ones out, man.
Okay,
Jesus.
Devon Achane.
Yeah. Where's CMC? Where's
Yeah,
okay.
he's
I
saying
know,
get
but
through the
I'm
easy
just, I'm
ones.
just doing it. I'm just doing it based off the NFL standards.
What if I
Brees
did
Hall.
the easy way, bro? I would take Brees.
J.K. Dobbins,
JK.
Derrick Henry,
You know what? I take it back, man. He was dog shit.
Okay.
Najee Harris,
He averaged 3.8 a carry, man.
That's all. That's all
That's
you
all I
need
need
to
to
see.
see, man.
Chase Brown.
Let's see. Okay, I got the easy ones, right? This
I'll count for you. I'll count
okay.
for you.
Bijan, Gibbs. I'm taking Genty day one.
Oh, def.
Saquon, Achane, Brees, Bucky, JT, Kyron, James Cook. You're taking Moran Hampton day one. I am.
Okay. Okay, yeah,
Okay.
I'm cool with it.
Josh Jacobs, CMC. You're taking Trayvon Henderson. I am.
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Kenneth Walker,
Yes.
Derrick Henry,
I'll
Truba Hubbard.
keep going.
Are you taking Junkins day one? I am.
TD. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe Mixon,
Yes.
Montgomery,
For sure.
Alvin Kamara,
Definitely.
Tracy.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
We're at
yeah.
22.
No, I'll be honest. 100%. Keep going, though. I'm
Okay,
interested.
Brian Robinson, James Conner.
Brian Robinson's overrated.
I'm taking Brian
100%
Robinson.
going Brian.
I'm
I would
taking
take
Brian
him
Robinson.
too. I would take him too. He's overrated.
Taking Brian Robinson.
I agree. He's overrated. Continue.
James Conner.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Underrated.
Zach Charbonnet.
Yes. Yes.
This,
yes.
Now we're kind of getting some names.
Zach's not bad. All right.
He's not.
He's not.
Tony Pollard.
Yes.
Tony.
Okay. J.K. Dobbins.
Yes.
For sure.
Aaron
One healthy.
Jones.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Jalen Warren.
Yes. Yes.
Braylon
Yes.
Allen.
Nah, I don't know.
Okay. Rico Dowdle.
Yes.
Tyler Algier.
Yes.
Jerome Ford.
Fuck no.
Nah, I wouldn't.
All right. Jordan Mason.
Yes.
Nick Chubb.
I would
healthy,
still take
yes,
a wash
absolutely.
Nick Chubb.
Yes.
Even though last year was not great at all.
I don't know if anyone
Najee?
else.
That's like 33.
I didn't say Najee.
Najee's
Yeah,
better. I
Najee.
think he's better too.
I skipped
I think
over
he's
the
better.
names I skipped over were Najee, Trey Benson, Ramondre Stevenson.
You didn't even say Chase Brown.
I didn't say Chase Brown. That's another one. I stepped over Pacheco,
Yo,
ETN.
what about Julian McLaughlin?
You didn't say Travis Etienne. I would
I
still
didn't
have
say
Travis
ETN.
Etienne.
ETN is just
mid.
so.
I would
mid.
still have Travis Etienne though.
mid.
I would have Tajay Spears over Swift.
Oh heavens!
Yeah. I would have Tajay Spears.
I
I'd have Eckler over Swift.
How many names was that? Like 30, 35?
Yeah, we could honestly be closing in on 40. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I regret making a big deal out of this.
Okay. Defensively, Chicago. I think corner, as I mentioned, Travis Hunter would be cool for them because I do think they need a second corner. And Drew mentioned some more defensive line.
Rashad White.
I skipped over Rashad White.
Smart.
Oh, you should.
Same guy.
You should enough. Yo, so I just realized that. Talking about the Bears, I want to talk about them real quick. With the cap space, I think they need a center. They could either bring back Coleman Shelton, even though Coleman Shelton had a lot of rough reps on film where he got beat by stunts. So I don't know if they want to bring him back, but I do think Joe Tooney being there and being one of the smartest guards in the league at recognizing that stuff can help somebody along like Coleman Shelton, who Coleman Shelton graded out as an average starting center. He wasn't terrible by any means, but they could pivot and they could go sign Drew Dahlman, who from the Falcons, who fits their scheme, one of the best run blockers at center in the league right now. I think that's on a lot of Bears fans' wish list. Najee Harris wouldn't be bad. I think if they have a good offensive line, Najee Harris, I think, is a bruiser at running back.
Go from DeAndre Swift to
Najee Harris is so much better than him. He is. I think Najee Harris.
How much are you paying Najee?
I think he's better.
How much
but
you pay? No, I think so. How much are we paying Najee?
I'm paying
The
like
same
$6
as
million.
Swift. Swift's getting 8, I think, right? I think he signed 4 for
He's
his third
definitely
option.
getting more than.
Oh yeah, you're
6.
right. Okay, so maybe he doesn't. They could find that in the draft. But I look at other needs like defensive tackle and right end. I think they need to fill out that defensive line.
$6 million. I'd do that.
DJ Jones, I look at coming from the Broncos. He's one of the best run stoppers at the nose tackle position in the league. BJ Hill, former Cincinnati Bengal. But I think, I'm really all for them going the Sweat route. Signing Josh Sweat,
okay, I like
Montez
that.
Sweat. I think
They
having
related?
just two good
I don't
edge
think
rushers.
so, right? I don't think they're related.
They not
They're
related.
cousins.
Could be.
Yeah, nobody would be shocked. But I would love that combination, just having two very good edge rushers.
Was crazy.
What?
That's got to be something. Nobody would be shocked.
What? Because their last name is Sweat. That's why. That's why. It's nothing else. What, is this a race thing?
Hey man,
What the hell?
hey.
No, but yeah, I think the Bears have a lot of flexibility now to, like you said, Dehls, last episode, go best player available in the draft. So if they sign Drew Dahlman and they go with Ashton Genty in the first round with the 10th pick, I think that is perfect because that's going to be a great offensive line and Genty will immediately make an impact.
I love being annoying and saying Ashton Genty's falling to 20.
They could even take Hampton, bro, at 10. I would not be shocked. He's someone that
Wow.
a couple. There's been multiple people, and Todd McShay, I think, has him in like the same tier. There's multiple people that I've seen that have Hampton and Genty not that far off from each other. Like Hampton's gonna go in the first round. I'm like 85% sure.
His floor is 20.
Yeah, I don't know if 10 would be kind of crazy, but it's also like if Genty goes at 6 to the Raiders, for example, and the Bears ascend, they're like, damn, yeah, we could take like a Will Johnson here. Like we could take Will Campbell. We already got 2 guards to see a tackle. Like shit, Hampton might be the best player available right now.
I'd be sick. But at the same time, I wouldn't because then. I mean, again, I say it all the time. Yeah, pick 20. We're gonna hit on someone great. It's gonna happen, especially skill position.
Now, this is funny. I'm looking at Mina Com's Twitter because she's a Seahawks fan. She was like, flat out, this is terrible move by Seattle. Chances of upgrading are extremely low.
She's not wrong.
Yeah, it's
Especially if your move is Sam Darnold or Rodgers or
nah, bruh. It's crazy because the
I don't know who else.
Seahawks only missed the playoffs because of strength of opponent. That's the only reason why.
Well, they lost to the Giants, dude.
No, I'm saying, but that's why they're the Rams had a better strength of opponent in their wins.
Didn't the Rams also beat them twice?
No, it's 1-1.
Was it?
Yeah, because the Rams rested their players week 18 and stuff.
Oh, when it didn't matter. Facts. The lights.
Might get another one.
Oh no, but also
You will.
realize the blue lights.
The lights are not on. Yeah, I did not turn them on. I forgot to.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, the first matchup with the Rams, I think
We're not room for all my
Maybe-
trophies, man.
Dude, FanDuel won again. Congrats.
maybe I'm mistaken, but I think they played the Rams tough the first time, but they beat the 49ers in the thriller. They beat them. They beat the Cardinals twice, beat the shit out of them.
They did beat the
I mean,
Cardinals twice.
the Seahawks, you know, like I'm just saying, they went 10-7 and missed the playoffs, not even because they weren't good enough. It's just really that simple. Geno Smith, you know how much he's getting this year?
Yeah, it's 25.
$14 million.
Oh, his cap is.
damn.
I thought
That's
it sounded
it.
like 30
That's
annually.
his cap hit.
Oh, his
I
cap.
thought it was 20. Isn't it a $75 million deal, 3-year deal?
Yeah,
And a
but
lot
this
of
is
it
the
might be
last year of his deal,
incentives.
so
Yeah.
it's
Call
probably
me.
all the guarantees
14?
probably gone through
14
already.
million for like a top 15 quarterback.
Damn.
I mean, this is just
that's
terrible
seen
by
some shit.
Seattle.
Yeah,
Like, my God.
The Raiders don't have like a new deal in place. I saw, but let me see if I can find it. The Raiders want to give Geno 40 to 45 million a year.
Let me ask you a question.
He's worth
Totally,
that.
Per the Athletic.
Totally off topic.
Party has 45.
You think Broncos fans would be upset at me if I said that I want to trade Bo Nix for Justin Herbert?
Fuck no.
Do you think Broncos fans would be upset?
Oh,
Yes,
well, yeah,
absolutely.
they would be. I mean, if Eagles fans are upset at Slay taking Prime Odell over Smitty, like,
Can I also ask? Do you think Broncos fans would be upset at me for saying that I would trade Bo Nix for Joe Burrow?
they should be upset.
Would they be upset at me? Is what I'm asking.
Maybe, but if they are
No,
upset, they
I don't think
they're-
Joe Burrow.
I
I
don't
think
really
the
want to talk
Herbert,
about
yeah.
them.
I think you know there's some fans out there that they underrate Herbert. It's just what it is.
That is true.
Listen,
And
Bo Nix on a
division,
rookie
too.
contract moves the shit out of me. I love
course,
it.
yeah.
He saves my life.
But
That
you
shit does
trade him
not
for
matter.
trading for Burrow. And
Why does it
Herbert
not matter?
in a heartbeat.
Because the Chargers have Herbert on this contract and they have the second most cap space in the league.
It's a good point, but they also had to gut their roster to do it.
But they drafted well.
they just released Gus Edwards.
Well,
Man.
that's what happens when you bring in Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
Sean
what you
Payton.
need.
Tell
Yeah.
you
you,
what,
Cookie.
Gus Edwards, good move.
Yeah, so
Respectfully.
next order of business, DK Metcalf and Trey Hendrickson, the two biggest names on the trade block. We're going to go from trade block to then free agency predictions. DK Metcalf, Trey Hendrickson. Let's go with DK Metcalf first. Just the top teams that you think he could go to.
I think DK can go to legitimately the Los Angeles Chargers. I think the New England Patriots are in there. And the last team that can quietly come in is the Carolina Panthers.
Those are the three teams I have.
Yeah, I think that's really where it goes. Sorry, was I not supposed to say three teams?
No. I just, surprised.
That we had the same three?
Just odds are maybe there's one different. Who do you got? You got the Packers in there?
I have the Packers in there, and I have the Raiders. I
Okay,
think
Raiders now makes sense.
Who knows if they trade
You think
DK?
they do it twice? I feel like
knows?
that's
That
now
would be great.
dead.
Because then at that,
Yeah.
that should have been
Yeah.
a package deal. You know
It
what I
is.
mean?
Imagine you
Second
get
and
Geno
third.
and DK.
Geno, that would have been tough.
Another interesting one that I wouldn't hate, I guess. I mean, if the Jaguars now are feeling like they want to go and splash cash, you go out there and you bring in DK Metcalf.
Ooh,
That's
him
something
and
that
Brian
intrigues
Thomas
me.
would be
That
fucking
definitely
lit.
be very intriguing.
Christian Kirk would have been a perfect wide receiver 3 for them.
Would have been, but I think the money, that's where obviously they had to move on. I will say, if I had to go on a limb and say a team, I think that the Chargers would be the one that are most aggressive.
Yeah.
They do have the money. You have Justin Herbert. Obviously, you've been looking for that deep threat consistently that can win downfield. That's DK Metcalf, and he's always trying to make a play, sometimes too much. But when you have an arm like Justin Herbert, you pair that with a guy like DK Metcalf, that could be one of the more explosive duos in the league. You pair that alongside Ladd McConkey, too. We're talking about one of the better trios. And I know McConkey definitely gets overlooked when we talk about all the best young receivers in the league. And I get it, that's just the stature of it because there's a lot of great talent in this league. But Ladd McConkey has a great skill set to pair alongside a guy like DK Metcalf. That's a great complimentary punch right there. I think if I had to say, I'd go DK Metcalf to the Chargers.
Yeah, I feel like with DK Metcalf, it's just about what team is going to be the most desperate. I would love to see him with the Chargers, but
That'd be awesome.
trading a second-round pick, a third-round pick,
Oh, PS2 has him in hell.
and also giving DK $30 million per year, I think is where you kind of get scared off a little bit. I think the Patriots are in more of a position to make a desperate move like that because, if I'm the Chargers, you definitely have to improve the receiver room. Would I rather sign Milton Williams, Darius Slayton, Drew Dahlman, and re-sign Khalil Mack, or would I rather just sign Khalil Mack and trade for DK and probably not get any of those other players? I'll probably go with the other option. Plus, you're losing draft picks. So I think the Chargers are in a position to where maybe they just go with a cheaper option. They go with Darius Slayton, somebody who could take the top off the defense that's a deep threat. And then in the first round, what if Ted McMillan falls to them and now they have their big body receiver? There's going to be a receiver there where they're picking. So maybe to them it makes more sense that just making the receiving core young and not splurging so much on DK, because DK is a great receiver, but $30 million, I don't look at DK as like an alpha number one guy that is worth that contract.
Yeah, he'd probably be one of the best number 2s in the league, but he's an interesting player because when you look at his numbers, he has never had under 900 yards. He did have a huge year 2 where he had 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. And after that, we're looking at him like this is a budding superstar. This is a guy that's going to be a locked top 10 receiver for the next 7 years. And he definitely fell off from 1,300 yards, but he's had like an 1,100 yard season in there. But more or less, I think Seahawks fans have been disappointed, given their expectations after that second year. But he's still a really good receiver. I do think the Patriots and the Panthers, as you mentioned, Joel, feel like they're more desperate, and you have the cap space. Plus, you just have a young quarterback that you want to give as much confidence as possible to, and your draft capital too is going to be a little better than the Chargers, right? Because you're picking towards the top of the draft. But for the Chargers, if they went out and got DK, it's because he's the best available thing on the market, right? Assuming T. Higgins is not going to get moved, DK is probably the best receiver out there. The only caveat would be whatever happens with Aaron Rodgers, because if he retires or he goes to a place and they're like, we don't want Devontae, we don't want money for Devontae, I feel like Devontae Adams could be a guy that goes back to the West Coast. He's in LA. He has a chance to compete for a championship. He has a great quarterback, a head coach that's well respected. And Devontae, I think, with Justin Herbert, can put up the 10th most yards in the league, right? He still showed last year with the Jets that he can be a dog. So if I had the choice and I could get Devontae on a 1 or 2 year deal, don't think of any draft picks, less money, I would probably prefer that over DK.
Man, this is going to be an interesting free agency period. Trey Hendrickson on the trade block as well. I think it would be a massive mistake for the Bengals to let him go, not just because he's one of the best players in the league at his position, but they didn't have any other player that ranked within the top 65 in pass rush win rate. This is legitimately a defensive line that was boomer bust Trey Hendrickson. Anybody else couldn't do squat. So losing him, I mean, this is like a historically bad defensive line. This is like the Cardinals defensive line, when they're at their worst. This is just terrible. I look at the best situations for him. The Packers come to mind. I don't know if they're going to be willing to pay $30 to $35 million for him. So I think the natural fit is the Commanders. I think the Commanders have the money and they desperately need a pass rusher like this, especially of this caliber. It would shore up a big part of that defensive line that could get Trey Hendrickson.
I think it'll be a great consolation prize for missing out on Myles Garrett if you're the Commanders, because I do believe the strong favorite, in my opinion, to get him is the Philadelphia Eagles. They're going to do whatever it takes to get him, and I can see it happening. That being said, the Commanders makes a lot of sense here. Trey Hendrickson to the Bears, though, I do like that as well. They do need some pass rush. Obviously, you bring in him. It's $30 million a year. It's a lot of money, but Trey Hendrickson definitely is still one of the best pass rushers in football. And for giving up a late second round, early third round pick, which is the rumored, that's what the asking price is that the Bengals do want, which, hey, that's pretty firm, right? For a guy like Trey Hendrickson, you would think that maybe a first would have to be attached, but a late second, early third, I think that you pair that alongside giving him $30 million. I can see the Commanders going out there and doing that. Another team, I gotta respect Carolina. There's really no reason why Carolina.
Should be in all these talks.
They really you have the Packers in the first two that we're talking about, which makes a lot of sense. I think Carolina needs to be in that as well. After trading Brian Burns, there's really no legitimate threat on this pass rush. Harold Landry got released as well. There's just so many options that are available to them. And a price like this, you're really not paying many players. This makes a lot of sense in my opinion.
Yeah, I had the Commanders on mine. I had the Packers. The only team you guys haven't mentioned were the Cardinals. The Cardinals, I think, sneaky, right? Won 8 games last year. They were 28th in pass rush win rate as a whole, which isn't surprising. They don't really have anyone on the defensive line, let alone really that defense that sticks out and scares you. They have the cap space to give him the type of money he's going to want, $30 million annually. And I think Jonathan Gannon, listen, he's going into year 3 with this Cardinals team. I don't think he's really made a move to stamp himself as the head coach, as not even culturally, but as a defensive guy going out and saying, we need to improve on defense, because they were bottom 5 in EPA per play, success rate. They really did not do anything great defensively last year. Part of it is personnel. Do think Gannon's a good coach, but Hendrickson at a conference, they're probably more likely to trade him than someone else in the AFC. Packers are a good shout too, but Arizona feels like kind of an under radar team that can make a move.
I love that. I love that fit. Arizona, Jonathan Gannon, defensive coach, needs some more defensive talent on that team. I like Garrett Williams a lot. Is a young corner who really broke out this past season, nickel back. So they have that position set, but other positions on the roster, they really desperately need. Man, this Seahawks thing still has me flabbergasted.
No, it's nuts.
Because it just makes no sense to me at all.
I think Geno really is one of the more underappreciated quarterbacks in the league, and I think in due part it's because it took him so long to break out, and the offense really wasn't as great, and his counting stats weren't that great. But again, if you were watching, he really was not the reason why they were dog shit.
No, not even close.
No, yeah, it is. The Raiders just got a really good quarterback. Honestly, that
that just blew.
He's going to give them
to
a potential to compete.
AFC West is really amazing.
But now we have Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers on the market. Really free agents.
Justin Fields.
My goodness. Wow.
Justin Fields.
I'm just freaking bookmarking all these tweets because I'm like, let me see. I just want to see what people have to say about this. Now JSN's value shoots down a little bit in fantasy.
A little bit.
I agree.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold's out there chucking, man.
Yeah, it depends on who.
If they get Sam, you still gotta believe.
So with all the players that I sent in the group chat, have you guys filled them out for the team? Where do you think they will be at?
I filled out all of them except ILB.
Okay, cool. We can maybe get into that next if you guys want to.
I have a couple spots for Greenlawn Bolton though, just off the top of my head.
Okay, that's fine. Are you good to go, Drew?
Yeah.
Let's do it. So NFL free agency predictions. We're just gonna go down a line of the biggest free agents of the pool, the quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers.
Dude, there's a real chance that he ends up in New York. I genuinely think that that's a chance. Maybe Seattle takes a shot on him now. I don't know, especially after the Geno move. But the team I have originally, I think that it's a real possibility he goes to the New York Giants.
I thought about that, but I just don't think if you're Shane and Dable, you can put all of your trust into Rodgers. I think they're going to do everything they can to move up to 1 because then you get Cam Ward, a rookie. You could buy yourself some time.
I think that makes more sense.
Or Shador too. I have Rodgers going to the Steelers. I don't think he has a lot of options, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you feel about Aaron Rodgers. But it feels like him, of course, Darnold, Russell Wilson, they're all in this, quarterback chair of who's going to find the landing spots you're going to return to your team. Obviously, Rodgers isn't. Mm-hmm. But Russ, I think, still has a chance to. But right now, my bet would be for the Steelers.
I'm going with the Steelers as well. Just feel like it makes the most sense. He's an upgrade of Russell Wilson at the very least. So I think he goes there, and there's a stable culture. Sam Darnold.
I had him going to the Raiders.
I think he's really going to sign with the Seahawks. I just have a feeling. If it's not them, it's the Titans. Those are only 2 quarterback needed teams.
Are you buying any of the he wants to return to, or the Vikings want him back?
No.
Can I ask, am I crazy for seeing a possibility where Russ returns back to Seattle?
That'd be a mistake.
I don't think so. I
think
Sam
Darnold would be a mistake too.
Yeah, but it'd be better.
I think
Russ.
Just relationship wise,
Russ is something you could get sold on. Like, okay, Darnold, younger, you could get sold on a little bit easier.
I think that if you want a vision for the future, I don't think Sam Darnold's your answer. I don't think Russ is your answer, but Russ is a stronger bridge quarterback, has a history with the franchise. You go out on better terms, in my opinion, if you're Russ. And then you can move on and now get on to your next quarterback after Russell Wilson. And it probably won't be as expensive and it won't be as hard because the age difference.
So is that your destination for Sam?
For Sam?
Beforehand,
again, I didn't know what was going to happen. I think I did see a world where Russ would go back to Seattle. I can also see a world where Russ returns back to the Steelers. But Sam to the Steelers also makes some sense for me too. That's where I had Sam Darnold going. It's not. I just think that if you needed a quarterback, this year is really not the one. It's terrible. And the fact that Sam Darnold is like the big name, a luxurious name, that's going to be the one available to them. I think it's just the most Pittsburgh Steelers signing ever in Sam Darnold.
Yeah, Cam Ward is the only quarterback that really excites me. Like out of all of these guys that are available, he's the only one that I'm moved by.
I respect Shador.
I
think Shador's good.
I just don't know. I like Cam. Listen, they both like ceilings and floors. Who knows? But Cam gives me more like this could be like a top 10
he's a
quarterback.
crazy athlete.
Just because, just the creativity he has. For Sam, I had him going to the Raiders. That's not going to be happening. The Titans, I feel like, would be a mistake. You had the first overall pick for a reason. Like, you suck.
They're going to Abdul Carter.
I understand that,
Or
but
Travis Hunter.
signing Sam Darnold, I would rather just be fucking terrible again than sign Sam Darnold. And what's he giving you, like 4 more wins? You know what I mean? He's not doing anything, and you have to pay him all of that money. So right now, Seattle is the logical answer. If you move off Geno, you have to sell the fans on something. You got to tell people, listen, we're moving off Geno, but man, you could put up the stats. Well, Sam Darnold had more yards and touchdowns and passer rating and all of this stuff because he did have a statistically great year. The other sleeper team, we're not going to. Oh, never mind. Go ahead. We're going to talk about that quarterback next.
Okay. Because I was thinking maybe a sleeper team might be the Colts for Sam.
Okay.
If they're not all,
are they going to pay? Like,
Who knows?
I know, because I always felt like it was a smaller kind of 1 year, $10 million for Rodgers.
It's just who knows, if they feel like, Anthony Richardson is just not the guy. And Shane Steichen, final year, let's just go get Sam. We have a good defense. We have good offensive supporting cast. Let's just go out there and get a guy who can complete some passes and give us a chance, So it can, I think that's a possibility. Justin Fields, I have him going to the Jets.
He's the most New York Jet quarterback I've ever seen in my life.
Should have been the pick for Zach Wilson.
Yeah, you guys are in the mud, man.
Yeah, we're just going 3 years back.
But Justin Fields, I think we haven't heard anything, obviously, but Seattle, I feel like, could be a sleeper for Justin Fields.
Don't hate that.
Again, defensive-minded coach. Most of those guys want to run the ball, play defense. He's someone that last year, I don't think he's going back to the Steelers. I feel like after how they did him last year, you're 4-2. He was having his best season of his career. I know I'm not saying a ton, but he was, top 12 in EPA per play. He was top 5 in completion percentage over expectation. And that was his biggest knock. And he was doing a lot of this really without using his legs too, which was kind of weird. I don't know if that was just Arthur Smith saying we want to keep you in the pocket for whatever reason. But I don't think he's going back to Pittsburgh. My number one would be the Jets, but sleeper team Seattle.
What about him to the Colts?
I can see, but it's also like you have Richardson. It's like, is that kind of...
But that would kind of, one, lights a fire under him because you're also bringing a young quarterback to go and compete against AR. Mm-hmm. Yes, you have similar molds in quarterbacks, but again, that kind of can benefit Shane Steichen, so it's not too much of a difference when you're going and game planning for whichever quarterback that you're going to move on to. And then again, with Fields, like you mentioned, he did progress, even though marginally as a passer, he still progressed in a positive way. And you can bring that type of athleticism to the offense and keep that athleticism, I should say, in the offense that obviously Anthony Richardson brings on a much more powerful level. But again, you still have a mobile quarterback, and I feel like that could be something that, one, it'll put a motivating factor for Anthony Richardson, which he already has a ton coming into this season. And then two, it's similar play styles.
Now, the wide receivers, we have two big fish. Devontae Adams. I have him going back to the Packers. I think he would be the perfect veteran wide receiver to kind of reel them in and kind of show them the ways of the league. I think the last thing Green Bay needs is somebody with a big ego like DK Metcalf to come in and say, listen, I want wide receiver 1 targets. I want all this. I think Devontae Adams understands he's older, and while he's still a great receiver, his job is also to mentor these young guys. So I think he'd be the perfect fit. Get an older receiver in there, a veteran for one of the youngest teams in the league.
I love that. I'm going to go with the Broncos. I'm not even going to say I'm not. The Broncos definitely have the money to bring him in. On top of it, we need a guy that can win on a consistent basis, get open for Bo Nix. And Bo Nix is going to be, they like to call him a one-read guy. They like to call him a check-down guy. And Devontae Adams is going to get open in that intermediate. And obviously, Devontae Adams still has the ability to have big plays. You just bring an exciting receiver like that for Bo, especially this young into his career. Plus, you have Courtland Sutton on the opposite side who, again, he's more of a contested guy. He's one of those guys that makes big plays. You got a guy that can do a little bit of both in Devontae. I still think at pick 20, it still allows flex. Some big move just happened again.
No, but the Seahawks tried to trade Geno and DK to the Raiders for Max Crosby. Vegas quickly shut it down. I didn't see the Max Crosby part. I just saw the DK and Geno like, we just talked about that.
That's interesting.
Max Crosby.
I think that makes sense.
The Raiders the Seahawks are just willing to give both of them up.
Well, for Max, I would have contemplated.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense for McDonald.
I would have. If you're like, we're moving off Geno, fuck it. I would have included DK to get Max. Yeah,
easily. That makes 100% sense. But when I look at the Broncos offense and I'd still look at that draft of what we can do at pick 20, Yeah, now you bring in Devontae Adams at pick 20. It still allows us some flexibility, whether that is going and bringing in a running back if they do end up falling to pick 20, or if Luther Burden or Matthew Golden are still on the board. Devontae Adams being put onto the team for 1 year, 2 years doesn't still hinder that ability for us to do that at pick 20. I still think that we're going to win this offseason. We're going to get a huge addition to this team, whether it is in the draft, whether it is in free agency. I really think we're in a great position because we do have a decent amount of money freed up comparatively to previous off seasons. And then next year, I keep talking about it. I'm trying to stay even keeled and not go all in on this off season because I think next year we'll really be able to make moves because we'll have a lot more money.
I do think Devontae is going to consider wherever Rodgers goes, but man, if he ends up like signing with the Giants, like really, you're going to stay in New York and play with the Giants. So if he doesn't go where Rodgers goes, I think go to another AFC West team, the Chargers. I feel like Denver, you're more likely to go for a younger receiver, like in the market if T somehow gets available, or DK, or the draft. Since you have someone who's a bit older, I feel like that's the route you would go.
That's fair.
But the Chargers already have that young receiver, and like let's pair him with a veteran who. Like I said, I still think this is one that's, top 10 receivers in football if he's getting those looks. So with all the money that they have and the need for wide receiver, it won't surprise me.
Chris Godwin, I have him going to the Jaguars following Liam Cohen.
I think the Jaguars makes a lot of sense in my opinion too. Liam Cohen, obviously that connection there. You move on from you move on from Christian Kirk. This makes a lot of sense for me too. You want a safety blanket for Trevor Lawrence. You need another guy on top of Brian Thomas Jr. too. That duo would be scary. I understand that he's coming back from injury, broken ankle. I have faith that he's going to come back and still be a good version of himself. And then I think you want to put more weapons in that room with with Trevor Lawrence and with Liam Cohen. I really believe in the direction of the Jaguars, so I like that move.
And you have Gabe Davis on the team too.
Yeah, let's move on.
Rounds out.
Oh my God.
Brenton Strange.
Bucks. I have Godwin going back to the Bucks, re-signing.
Even still, after no franchise.
Yeah, because 1 year it's a big cap hit for that season.
Yep.
I do think there's a chance he moves on just because McMillan broke out a little bit at the tail end of the season.
You see what they're projecting him to make though? Around $25 million a year.
Yeah, they could get younger at the position. I wouldn't be surprised, but we'll see. I think going back to the Bucks also could be very well in play.
He feels like a
dude,
buck.
he was a dog.
Yeah.
It's a tragedy he got hurt.
On to the tight end, Evan Ingram. I got him going to the Broncos.
That's a Bronco.
That's
a Bronco.
Yeah.
The
This
only
is the Bronco.
it's like he's the best tight end. Jawan Johnson's like, all right, we'll take you two. One of those two are going to Denver.
Now, next name up, offensive lineman, probably the biggest offensive lineman now that Trey Smith is franchise tagged. Ronnie Staley from the Ravens.
I have him going back to Baltimore, man. I don't think you are a Super Bowl contending type team. You can't let your left tackle go. I know he's been hurt so much. But last year he played all 17 games. First time in his career, or at least first time in a while. So to just move off of him with no succession plan, of course you could draft somebody, trade somebody, free agency, sign somebody, but I think coming off the year that he had with the expectations that you have, I don't think you want to let him go.
Yeah, I got Ronnie Stanley jumping ship, and I got him going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Oof. I think the Chiefs, the reason why they traded Joe Tooney is because they said we need a blind side protector to protect Patrick Mahomes, and we're keeping Trey Smith. And I think, maybe they can try to find it in the draft, but clearly that has not been working for them. I think they're going to go out and be aggressive for Ronnie Stanley and give Mahomes that blind side protector that they need.
Yeah, wouldn't want that personally, but I can see it happening.
Edge rushers, Khalil Mack. I have him going back to the Chargers.
I think he's going back to the Chargers too. He was great last year.
I had Khalil Mack going to the Vikings. I feel like
Vikings are sneaky gonna get an edge.
Yeah, they have money. Obviously they paid Grenard last season, but they could use another edge. And I feel like later part of your career, he went to LA, played nice weather, playing the dome. Minnesota, the weather might not be nice, but you're playing in a dome. Brian Flores obviously is one of the most respected DCs in the league. He has another edge rusher over there that he doesn't have to constantly see double teams with, and they have the cap space to do it.
You got the Chargers. So next team, Joey Bosa. I have him going to the 49ers.
Me too.
Just making it fun.
I swear to God, that's only me too.
Yeah,
they need another
it.
edge, though. It's not just like, this would be fun. They desperately need someone opposite of Nick.
Yeah, I'm not against the 49ers either. It'd be awesome, I think Joey still. I understand the injuries have derailed a strong career that started, but you put him on the Niners next to Nick. things get nasty. I think that if they stay healthy, that's going to be one of the better duos.
It's just about who's going to line up on the right side because Nick Bosa lines up there, but Joey Bosa lined up there all of last season.
Chicago, I can also see them potentially making a splash. Again, if teams strike out on the upper echelon, there's still guys to be had. Joey Bosa can be one of those consolation prizes.
Josh Sweat, I have him going to the Bears.
Chicago, yep.
Who did I have him going to? This is where I had him going to the Cardinals. He was the Trey Hendrickson spot too, but Josh Sweat obviously has the connection with Gannon there too. And listen, I think the Eagles feel like they have unlimited money, but they'll probably have to make a decision somewhere, right? Milton, you already paid Bond, Josh Sweat. I feel like one of those guys were bound to go. And Milton being only 25 years old, having the breakout season that he had, I feel like he's more likely to stay. Sweat gets a big contract from Arizona.
I'm with you.
Milton Williams, I have him going
Chargers.
to not the Chargers. I really want that. That would be like my dream offseason for them. Just realistically thinking about it, I think he's going to the Cardinals. I think he's going to reunite with Jonathan Gannon.
That'd be lit.
They need somebody in that interior to boost up that defensive line, and I think Milton Williams, you look at the Cardinals, they're top 5 in cap space. They can overpay for him, and I think they are desperate for some defensive line help.
I think the Chargers are definitely in play here. Definitely try to seal up that interior defensive line. Obviously, they tried to do that last year. I think you take another step with Milton Williams, and he was amazing last year. One of the key contributors to the Eagles. You bring that to Los Angeles, things can really look great for them.
I'm going to New England. They have the most cap space, and this is a team that is obviously young and rebuilding, and the fact that Milton Williams is so young. Usually free agents, right? We're talking about most of these guys, it's like these dudes that get cut, Bosa and Mack that are, 30 or above. Milton Williams is just entering his prime, and they have the money to be like, you know what? You want to get paid like Chris Jones? All right, here's $100 million guaranteed. Here's 30 a year. Come to New England. They need the help on the defensive line. So I'm going to the Patriots.
I like that.
Nick Bolton.
I think Nick Bolton is going to be Denver Bronco.
I'm going to the Broncos.
I really want Dre Greenlaw really badly. I won't lie. I really want Dre Greenlaw in the building, but I think Nick Bolton, especially for him being in Kansas City, kind of gives us that edge against them. You get a guy who we need linebacking coverage. We need a guy to just play the positions, period, because Alex Singleton, who knows if he's going to be back. I'm assuming he's going to be cut. That's where we go when we bring in a guy like Nick Bolton and finally get some security at the position.
It feels like a Sean Payton move to go and grab the Kansas City Chiefs. Tell me the secrets. What have you guys been doing? But obviously, Bolton's a good player too. I feel like a couple years ago he was more highly regarded. But I still think for Denver's linebacker room, he'd be an upgrade.
Yeah, he's an excellent run defender. He just really struggles in coverage from time to time. I have him going to the Patriots. I think the Patriots are going to have a lot of cap space and need more veterans in their building on defense. And that's where I have. And Dre Greenlaw, I have him going to the Broncos.
I would love this. I have it reversed. I have Dre Greenlaw going to the Patriots. Makes a lot of sense. Like we mentioned a ton. They have a ton of money. Dre Greenlaw wants linebacker 1 type money. Obviously won't get that because he was injured, but he is still an elite level player when he is at 100%. I would love Dre Greenlaw on the Broncos. I just see it more so, like Joel mentioned, it's just the most Sean Payton thing to do to try and get a guy from Kansas City's building just to get some type of advantage.
I had Greenlaw going to the Cowboys. Cowboys have quietly opened up a lot of cap space, and
that'd be very Cowboys of them too to not give the money to Micah.
And I know Jerry said he's not going to get aggressive, but I don't think you're like resetting the linebacker market with Greenlaw. They need some linebacking help.
I think Bond already reset it. I think it's done. I don't think somebody's going to get paid higher than him this offseason.
So now looking at the corners, the top 3, Charvarius Ward, DJ Reed, and Byron Murphy. I have Ward going to the Commanders, DJ Reed going to the Patriots, and Byron Murphy staying with the Vikings.
I think Byron Murphy does stay. I think Charvarius Ward makes a lot of sense to the Patriots as well. You put him opposite side of Christian Gonzalez. I also think this is understanding what happens in the draft. If they are the guys, if they are the team that gets Travis Hunter, obviously now we throw this out of the window. But I think that Charvarius Ward, he didn't play a lot last season because he was going through some things in his personal life, but he's still one of the best corners. He's still amazing in coverage. One of the best man-to-man. You put that opposite side of Christian Gonzalez, now we're talking about one of the best corner duos in the league. I really like that right there.
I got Travarius Ward going to the Steelers. They're a team that always pays for defense, pays for corners. They have Joey Porter there, but they really need a second corner. I feel like it makes a lot of sense for him. DJ Reed, I got going to the Packers. The Packers, Jair Alexander is probably going to be moving on, right? And DJ Reed is still one of the more underrated corners in the game. I feel like the Packers, even though they don't make a lot of big splashes in free agency, they can make some calculated moves, and I feel like DJ Reed's one of those. And Byron Murphy, I also have going to the Cowboys. I feel like they need secondary help, and I don't think you can just walk into this season with all the questions you have around your head coach and question marks going around the whole team and just not spend any money, and the defense is really what needs help.
And then at safety, the big fish, Javon Holland, I have him reunited with Brian Flores and going to the Vikings.
Okay.
They're not going to re-sign Cameron Bynum. I think the numbers are too far apart. I think Javon Holland would be perfect for what they need on their defense.
You don't see Javon Holland taking a trip to New York?
To the Jets?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No.
Your safeties still aren't good.
No.
Yeah. I just don't think they're going to pay top
I can see
dollar.
the Jets, and they could definitely, maybe go and get him. But I just think the ties with Brian Flores, I think Javon Holland, the last time that he was at his very best was with Brian Flores. And I think just reuniting with him in that scheme, it could rejuvenate his career.
I'm not against it. I just think I look at you guys, and you guys have had that need for a couple of seasons now.
Yeah.
You go and you bring in Javon Holland, still a really excellent player.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, that would be awesome for you guys.
I have Javon Holland going to the Commanders.
That was definitely my number 2 spot.
Dan Quinn, think of the LOB days, all of the DBs and secondaries, Cam Chancellor and
Don't
whatnot.
gas it.
I'm not gassing it, but he just,
Disrespect.
big play safety, Javon Holland.
I tell you what, I'm here for the downfall of the Seattle Seahawks. Very underrated. Chiefs and Seattle both crumbling at our feet right in front of
Chiefs
us.
are crumbling.
And that's going to do it for this episode of the Pick a Side Podcast, episode 464.
Bang! Come on,
Thank
boy.
you guys for watching and listening and/or listening. You guys can follow us on Twitter at Pick a Side Pod, on Instagram and TikTok at Pick a Side Podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.